816-5555. Jacksonville.
I had a hard day and it's a long way back to my home. Turn the radio on, I'm hearing my friend Lizzie pretend that their voice counts, but nothing amounts to anything until I hear it from you.
Frank, Hays, Lauren, and RJ, The Frangie Show starts now on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, we welcome you to our final show out here live from the Bragan Baseball Complex at Fort Family Regional Park. Frangie and Carlyon, Lauren Brooks with you, RJ Saunders back at World Headquarters. Man, oh man, what a week it's been. Overcast today, not quite as sunny as it was yesterday, but it is a absolutely magnificent week of baseball. Today we are loaded up, all kind of stuff. Lauren, we got games galore, baseball, softball, all of them here today.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Trinity Christian and First Coast battling right now in baseball, and then we've got games at 4 and 7 here, and then there's a game at Inglewood at 6 as Inglewood plays host to Ed White. And then on the softball side, there are 5 games, the first one beginning at 3 p.m., the last one at 7:30. So tons going on out here.
I got 7 games at this ball yard.
Yeah. And when you say
7 games at the ballpark.
When you say final show out here, you mean until Monday, right?
That's right. Final one of the week.
Final one of the week.
That's right. So, yeah, this has
I thought the same thing.
This has been a great setup here. We again, I saw our boss, Steve Griffin, today, and I told him how much we appreciated 1010XL. You know, 1010XL, the way the remotes work, you pay for remotes. You know, companies pay to have us out, and we have a lot of them, and we thank them for it, and we have wonderful clients. But certainly the people at 1010XL, Steve and company, said this is a worthwhile cause, so go do 5 shows out there and have a big time out there. And so, and hopefully we've had so many people come by, so many people say hello, so many people that have noticed us and seen us. So it's been a big week out here. We certainly appreciate it. We certainly appreciate everyone coming by. So many kind things they said about the park, about walk-off, and some good baseball, softball. 7 games at this park today, plus Inglewood and White playing at Inglewood today. The reason, by the way, I told this story yesterday. The reason we moved everything up, including using one more park, Inglewood, is because the rain's really coming tomorrow. It's overcast today, but let's go now to the veteran chief meteorologist, the former chief meteorologist, Hays,
yes,
who's graduated to veteran chief meteorologist,
That's
Lauren
fantastic.
Brooks, out of St. Joe's Middle.
I'm on strike until I get a pay raise.
It's just, well, you should be. A raise should have come with the title.
Correct. The first title came with no pay raise. The second title, dang,
well,
better.
I'll tell you what, whatever we paid you for the first one, we'll double it. So there's that. But no rain. It's not going to rain, right?
I just checked the radar. We should be fine. Famous last words, right? It is Florida, so anything can happen. But I think it's just, a little clouds, but certainly better weather than tomorrow, which I think you could have gotten a game in first thing tomorrow, but that would have been about it.
Yeah, and that's right. And you know what? It would have, you might have been playing through the raindrops even in that game.
Yeah, so I think it was better to move it all, and it's going to be a busy ballpark this afternoon.
Yeah, the way we do, and I've explained this yesterday, and throughout the week and weeks when we do this, the FHSAA allows you to play.
Here come the lights.
And here come the lights on, so it's a little overcast. The FHSAA allows you to play 2 games that are not real games, 2 practice games or exhibitions, if you will. And those 2 exhibition games are played this week. They have to be played this week. So the way to do, you okay over there?
Yeah, just Mother Nature annoys me sometimes with her wind.
If there's anything I can do, it's just, okay, I'm with you, though. So
Frank almost got swallowed up by the tent.
Yeah, we got attacked by the tent.
I probably was a little dramatic with that phone slam onto my notepad.
Slams, I'm not saying it was dramatic, but Dr. J over 2 defenders wasn't quite as violent as that. But anyway, the FHSA allows you to play 2 games in the preseason week. So we have 3 4-team pools in both baseball and softball. And then you play the first game, and then the winners play for the championship of that pool and the lose. So you have a bunch of we're going to have 6 champions of their pools. And last night, a terrific game last night. You talk about 2 really good programs. Ponte Vedra and Providence last night really went at it. There are more big-time college prospects in this event than I've seen. I mean, again, we told you the very first game when Bishop Snyder was playing Ponte Vedra, it was a Florida commit versus an FSU commit. Now think about it if it was football. We were talking about that, okay? Or basketball. So it's a Florida FSU commit playing. A JU commit, which is a really good baseball program, started for Providence. Today, and I'm looking around, there are 2 Florida commits on this Trinity team.
Wow.
that are both, get this, sophomores. Okay?
Wow.
They're sophomores. One kid hit one, would have landed on top of us if we'd have been out here. Hit one in the bullpen, just right at the bullpen. And, so there's really good players out here. Maybe the best player out here, Hunter Carnes, the catcher for First Coast, who's also in this game. He's a Florida State commit. I'm told no chance he makes it to college. He is a legit first-rounder. And you know the guys you see play sports that just make sports look easy? Sports just look easy when they play it. He's one of those guys. So we've seen all that today. We're real excited. So a lot of great play in softball as well. Fantastic softball teams, fantastic baseball teams. So we're excited to be out here and have you be part of it.
How many home runs have been hit now on the baseball?
Just two. Just the
two.
one.
Okay.
The Inglewood guy, Dom Petruno, went oppo into the left field bullpen, the left-handed batter, and this is both left-handed hitters. And this Ethan, darn it, I apologize not knowing his name. He's the sophomore from Trinity. Ethan he throws right, bats left, and he hit one just out of here. And so, so 2 home runs so far. I think we talked about this.
Wheeler? Could it be
Ethan Wheeler.
Okay.
Ethan Wheeler hit a home run out of here, and so Don Petruno and Ethan Wheeler, thank you, hit the 2 home runs. And I can. It's not going to be a home run park. It's the same size as San Souci, but San Souci's surrounded by those pines, so there's no wind. And the wind howls in at this place. So
it is right now.
Yeah, it always does. You can see the flags. For whatever reason, I guess you build it near a lake and a highway, I guess the wind's going to blow in from it because I learned all that. So anyway, but it's been a lot of fun out here. Hey, a lot of things to get to today. I do want to touch on this. Was the Warriors trying to get LeBron?
I suppose.
I think
RJ, is that the word?
I think we need to go to.
Is that an open gym topic?
The veteran host of Open Gym joins us now on the program, RJ Saunders from Eastlake High School in Los Angeles. RJ, was that really going to happen? Maybe
it wasn't. It wasn't going to happen. I believe the Warriors, as well as the 76ers, there was a report that they were asking about the services of LeBron, and the Lakers did the right thing. They were petty with the Sixers and said, well, if you're wondering if LeBron's available, is Joel Embiid available? And that's what they did. And then the Warriors.
That means it wasn't really going to happen.
Right. And the Warriors said the same thing. And the funny thing is, LeBron and Steph Curry are going to play together, FYI, for people who are wondering. It'll be on the USA basketball team, though. It's not going to be in the NBA where they play together. But, yes, there was a report out there where they were inquiring about his services to see if he and Curry could play with one another, but the Lakers weren't going to do that.
Is it bad, RJ, that I'd kind of like to see that? Does that make me a bad person? Probably, kind of, sort of?
Frank, this is not like you. What's going on?
I wouldn't mind if they played on the Lakers. I don't care which team it is. I just think wouldn't it be kind of fun?
It'd be awesome.
I like that. It doesn't have to be the Warriors. It could be the Lakers, but I think LeBron. You hate that stuff, don't you, Lauren? You hate jumping.
I don't like it.
You don't like it. You didn't like it when he went to the Heat.
They could face each other, in 3 straight NBA championships? They can't play on the same team.
I think it'd be great. I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun.
Who's coaching Team USA now, RJ?
Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is.
I'll allow it.
I love it. All right, so
I still hope that one day Billy Donovan gets that chance, but he just hasn't done well enough in the NBA. He was on his way. He was doing coaching the junior teams, which is sort of the stepping stone. He probably was an assistant with Kerr under Krzyzewski, and that was 10 years ago. But I always hope that Billy Donovan would get that opportunity, but I don't know that he ever will.
I wonder where it's going to end. One of the things I want to talk about today is where's it going to end for some guys like that? I was going to start with the football guys, but let's include the basketball guys too. Where will it end for Mike Norvell and Billy Napier and Mario Cristobal and not just this job, unless it ends with this job? But where might it end? So we're going to get to that a little bit. College baseball starts today. I'm excited about it. I don't know if people are excited about it.
UNF and JU are already playing their first game.
UNF and JU are underway, and Florida plays tonight, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
Florida has not changed its schedule around, which surprised me.
Yeah, so we'll update you on UNF and JU's games. We'll talk to you a little bit about Florida. Why college baseball did or didn't take off and why should it take off. We'll certainly get to that coming up on the program as well today. Some of the things we'll talk about. I got a Jaguar topic that's a little bit of a different spin for the Jaguars. We talked about what the Jaguars will be. We always talk some Jaguars, no matter what the day is. We always try and talk a little bit of Jaguars around here. We talked about what the Jaguars will be, best case scenario. Other than middle of the offensive line, what are the worst things that could go wrong? We haven't talked about that. We've talked a lot about what could go right, what could go wrong for the Jags. We'll certainly touch on that a little bit today, just get a little bit of an idea. So we'll talk some Jaguar football, college basketball, Florida, Georgia tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about the Noles, how close are these teams to getting into the tournament. Is Florida in? Is Florida now in and they got to play their way out? I think that's kind of the conventional thinking.
Yeah,
so
they'd have to mess it up now.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. We got a lot of fun stuff to do on the show. We're going to update you on the baseball and the softball all day long today. Glad you're with us on a Friday. Love this time of year. We're getting closer and closer to golf. We'll update you on the golf, the Genesis. We got some news there. We'll update you as we get closer and closer to the players. March Madness is not far away. Free agency is not far away. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We're glad you're with us. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, Lauren Brooks with you. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Dan Hicken.
I saw you on the dance floor. You moved pretty good.
Jeff Prosser.
I really just got lucky. I was more in the zone than anything else.
Mornings.
It was the booze dancing.
On 1010XL.
Credit for everyone. 500 vehicles in one location. 30-day exchange program. If you want it all, get it all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Right now, just $500 down and only $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. Plus, Arlington's Credit for Everyone program and 30-day exchange program. Save thousands and shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Looking for the perfect Saturday plans? Head over to Players Grill, where Saturdays are all about pizza and pints. Dive into a delicious pizza paired with your choice of Miller Lite or Yingling draft beer for just $12.99. Pizza, pints, and a great time. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
I'm Hays Carlyon. I'm always going to have opinions, but sometimes I've got to get the hammer out. Listen to Hammer Time, weekdays on The Frangie Show on 1010XL. Brought to you by Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters, the golden standard in roofing.
The red-hot Jacksonville Icemen are back at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena this Friday and Sunday. The Icemen kick off military weekend Friday at 7 against the Florida Everblades. Watch them wear special military-themed jerseys. Sunday at 3 is a Publix Family Fun Day, and fans can come down on the ice and take a shot on net after the game against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Get tickets at Ticketmaster, JacksonvilleIcemen.com, or call 904-602-PUCK. Icemen hockey is #FireWithin.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Me, Dave Carvelis.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time for chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you
are cool. Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. It's getting chilly outside, but you can enjoy the outside inside with a new glass lanai from Lifetime Enclosures, or look ahead and get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Dr. George Bari inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
This is Hays Carlyon for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5550.
We've had 24 teams out here, so I'm having trouble keeping up. But right now we've got start at 4 o'clock on the near field, Bishop Kenny and Bishop Snyder, and then followed by Sandalwood and Hilliard. And then on the far field, Providence and Fletcher, followed by Mandarin and Nice, followed by Paxton and Episcopal. That's a lot of ball clubs out here, Carlyon. A lot of high school softball and baseball teams out here. And I will tell you, more kind things have been said, and it makes us feel so good about the fact that everyone's out here and having a good time out here, and it's just it's been a really special week. I mean,
What's fun is when the people that live around here are walking the grounds and they just say, "Gosh, it's amazing what they've done with this." And you just kind of give them a slight nod.
They have. It's pretty good stuff. It really is. So we're proud to have folks out here. All right, let's start with Jaguars. We always start with Jaguars, where we often start with Jacksonville Jaguars. Lauren, I want you to go first. I got a hunch where Hays is going to go here.
Okay.
But barring injury, because that's the obvious answer, what are your biggest concerns of what could go wrong or what they could not get right as the Jaguars get set for the off-season and the player procurement and the whole bit?
Not the actual season.
No, yeah, and roster building. Let's make this a roster building topic for now.
What could go wrong is just like some would say they drafted Trayvon Walker and that was the incorrect selection. They could draft the wrong person at 17, and then if they draft, let's say, cornerback, and the cornerback doesn't turn out to be very good, so you've now wasted your 17th overall
Getting the
pick.
wrong guy in the draft.
Getting the wrong guy, and then the other thing that could go wrong is I think they tag Josh Allen, and that sends a message to the rest of the roster that you're not going to get a second contract here no matter how good you play.
So more specifically, mishandling the Josh Allen thing.
Right.
Because I would think that's going to be first on a lot of lists.
Yeah.
That's your. And again, this isn't a negative. Here's what's wrong with the Jags comment. I'm excited about the Jags, but there's always things you're worried about that could go wrong. Your thing.
Yeah, to me, Josh Allen playing on the franchise tag in 2024 things have gone drastically wrong.
There'd be a bad vibe.
Yeah.
There'd be a vibe to it. Hey, give me some things that concern you as they build I say build the roster, continue to build the roster.
Yeah, I think those are good ones because I think making Josh Allen play on the tag would be just a complete embarrassment and failure on Trent Baalke's part. I think to take it to a different direction, I'll say that they remain steadfast in their faith of Luke Fortner, and he ends up either regressing even further or failing to improve, which is going to be really hard for this offense to make the improvement it needs if the center position is so lackluster as it was last year. So that's my fear, is that they still have belief in Luke Fortner as the starter, and he won't get a lot of competition there. I think that would be malpractice, but that's one of my greatest fears, is that they decide that Fortner, had a tough sophomore year, will be better, and they don't do much to address it, and then you get to week 4 and you're like, why didn't they do something? And right guard as well, because we know it's not going to be Brandon Sheriff. So, getting that right as well, because if they remain faithful to Fortner and then they pick the wrong right guard, they're going to be right back where they were this year, which is a very pedestrian offense.
My concern is almost exactly what you said. You're right, Lauren. I find myself not worrying about the Josh Allen thing. I think Josh wants to be here so badly. They want him so badly. I don't know. They could use a tag at some point. My gut tells me it's not coming to that. And if it does come to that, it would be more like the Ingram thing last year, where nobody really panicked. Everybody knew they were going to get Ingram right, and Ingram, I say no. I think everyone believed it would eventually be an extension and the tag comes off. But to Hays' point, and let me go. What I'm not worried about Trevor. Again, we're staying away from injuries now. I'm not worried about rebuilding the quarterback room. The running back room I think's fine. I wouldn't mind maybe an addition, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about where receiver lands. I don't know where it's going to land. But I don't find myself worried about receiver. I don't. I think we're okay. If Christian Kirk's healthy and Evan Ingram's on the team, they're both going to be. I think the other pieces, whether Ridley's back, which I think he will be, Zay Jones, I think they'll add to the room. I think Parker Washington will be the backup kick returner, will be on the team. I'm okay there. I worry about the interior of the line, but I think they'll fix the defensive line. There's a new scheme. There's a new play caller. I do think Devon Hamilton is going to get healthy, and I think he was playing really well before he was not healthy. I think there's enough pieces there. I don't worry about it. I think there's work to do. I don't worry about it. I worry about that interior of the offensive line, not just because will they make the wrong choice, I trust them. I trust Doug Peterson. I really do. I worry it's hard to rebuild the interior of your offensive line. It's hard. It's hard to find centers. It just is. If you look at most of the good centers, they're usually not on their second team. If you look at over the history of the league, you look at the centers that are in the Hall of Fame, or you look at the centers that are among the better players. Jason Kelce didn't show up on his second team and become really good. Alex Mack, yes, he went to the Falcons, but he had Falcons and Browns good years. It's hard to find really good.
Pouncey was pretty much always
the whole time.
Yeah,
the whole time with the Steeler.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find center on your second team. That means either Luke Fortner's got to be what they still believe he can be, or you've got to do something unusual, which is find center on your second team. My biggest concern, my biggest worry of what could go wrong, again, injuries can always go wrong. But apart from injuries, I think they're going to be well coached. I really like this guy, Ryan Nielsen. I really like what I think they'll be doing on offense. I'm confident there. I think their special teams coaching is good. I think the special teams personnel is good. It is interesting they signed Riley Patterson to a future deal, isn't it? I mean, so if nothing else, competition in camp, which
I can't imagine McManus is back.
Yeah, you would think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so competition in camp or a new kicker.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about that. I think that stuff generally plays itself out. I worry about the interior of the offensive line. I just how do you fix it? And I hope it's better
And they have to acknowledge that it's broken for us to be confident that they're going to fix it.
And by the way, they know football too. By the way, they certainly know. It's not like they don't. If they believe Fortner's better than other people believe he is, there's something there. Regardless of who it is, how it is, why it is, my concern is I'll stand by this. You can say all the negative things you want about Trevor if you feel like it. You can say negative things about Press Taylor. You can say negative things about the play calling. You can say, I think the biggest ill of not only the offense but of the football team was the interior of the offensive line. And I that if there's a worry, Hays, that's the one for me. Like you said.
Yeah, I mean that's
how do you fix it?
Again, the good thing about it is I don't think you have to allocate crazy resources to it. You certainly can, but I don't think you have to. There's certain positions where you kind of have to devote your first-round pick to, like to get better at corner, to get better at edge rush, certainly usually quarterback. You have to invest that first-round pick and hope you're right. The interior offensive line, it doesn't demand that. So, I mean, I would like to think right guard at least gets solved in free agency. And I'm assuming they're going to keep Ezra Cleveland, which I think is what they should do at left guard. So then I think you'll probably go into the draft looking for center help. And, if it's 17, it's 17. I don't think it's going to be 17 for a center. But certainly in the second round, the third round, which is going to be a comp pick for the Jaguars, so in the 90s there, you can get a quality center at that spot, and this draft lines up pretty well there. So, if there was a free agent center that I liked, that'd be a big priority for me.
Call me crazy, but everyone says he's probably going to retire. But he did play for Doug Peterson. He did. He was on the first-team All-Pro under Doug Peterson. Could you talk Jason Kelsey into coming here?
That would be awesome,
is that a crazy thought?
I don't think it'll happen, but
we're being crazy here.
That's why that's what the off-season's for.
Yeah.
There's no idea is a bad idea in the off-season. Absolutely.
He's 36 years old. He's a six-time first-team All-Pro.
Right.
He's a seven-time Pro Bowler. He was Doug Peterson's center when Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl. Why not? Hey, Jason, what's up, bro? What you got?
Right. No, it would be outstanding.
And overpay.
Right.
I'd overpay for a year. Would you overpay for a year?
At 36, a guy who thought about retiring?
Maybe not.
That's a big concern.
Okay, I hear you.
I understand
Which
if
is
he
logical.
was 31
Yeah.
and retirement certainly wasn't an option.
I'm not trying to build the future around him. I'm trying.
Well, here's
what.
But I'd love to get a center that Trevor is going to have as his center for years to come.
And maybe that is Fortner just after a year or two behind.
Here is why Fortner should be disqualified. Because your franchise quarterback is sticking the ball over the line for quarterback sneaks. You know what Jason Kelsey does? He gets down on the ground and he mauls a guy 2 yards backwards.
So why not call Jason Kelsey? And listen.
Yeah, I think that's a 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
By the way,
yeah.
if that.
Right.
But because there's probably 8 other teams that need a center. They're probably going to pick up the phone too. I get it. And he probably isn't going to play again. He's 36.
He might play again, but I think he would play for the Eagles and the Eagles only. That's the other
I kind of
problem.
do too.
By the way, we're spending a lot of time on the interior of the line. I'm also concerned about left tackle. I don't know who's playing left tackle.
See, I think left tackle is going to be very good, whichever one of them play it. But I'll extend your thought a little bit. Based on how they do it, will they be good at all the tackle spots? Will they be good?
If you're moving Anton from right to left, then I have to assume Walker Little is going to be a good right tackle?
Understand this. There's 3 really important tackle spots on an NFL team. Left tackle, right tackle, swing tackle. And make no mistake, they're all important. Don't think for a minute the swing tackle spot isn't important unless you're convinced your guy's never getting hurt. And people get hurt. It's the National Football League. So if they re-sign Cam Robinson, then Cam's a left tackle, Anton's a right tackle, Walker Little's a swing tackle. That's pretty good. I think most of us think they're probably not going. Do you think they're not going to? You think they're going to let Cam walk?
I do.
I do too. I say let him.
I think they should, and I think they will.
Yeah, you think they should cut him, and they're going to cut him. What about you?
I think they're going to cut him.
You think they should?
No.
I'm 50-50 on that. I think they're going. I think we all agree they're going to.
He's never available.
Yeah. Well, no. I hear you. Believe me, I'm not pounding the pulpit for the Hall of Fame for the guy, but I'm torn on it because there's so much they've got to get fixed. That's one. Then you got to hope Walker Little's the right guy, and maybe he is. But then you got to get that's one more spot you got to get fixed where you've got a guy on your roster. It's already you're okay, but can you fix that guard, center, defensive tackle spot more ably with that $16 million, which is kind of your point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
That's a big puzzle piece, $16 million.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's worth it.
I just haven't seen enough from Walker Little to know for sure Trevor's going to be protected whether he's playing left or right.
I will say this. It's a commonly held opinion, and I share it, and I'm guessing you do too. You guys do too. That Anton Harrison's going to be really good.
I'd love to see him at left tackle.
Well, and I do believe this. They haven't said this. I mean, Walker Little's been their backup left tackle, and Anton Harrison's been their right tackle. But I do believe Anton Harrison would be the left tackle. I do believe I believe he would be the left tackle if they moved on from Cam Robinson. Yeah, you can use that $16 million. Is it? Hays, is it a Kevin Zeitler? Is it a guy that's 35?
There's
34?
a lot of guards that are going to be available.
Mid-30s guys.
Sure.
Yeah, but again.
Not all of them, but yeah, there will be some of the guys out there will be 33, 34, 35.
Yeah. Do you know, and if for old-time Jaguar fans from the beginning, do you know why they went and paid, regardless of how it turned out? This isn't about how it turned out. Do you know why they went and paid Bryce Popp and Carnell Lake and Hardy Nickerson? You know why?
Because the window was open.
Because the window was open.
Right.
That's exactly when you pay those guys, is when the window, and I believe the window's open. So that's why, that's when you do it, that's who you do it with, and that's why you do it.
So can I challenge you? Does Balky not believe the window's open? Is that why he didn't pay a defensive end or edge rusher?
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm talking about being open now more than even less last year, but it's a fair question. It's a fair question. I think I'm not saying it wasn't open last year. I think they really believe it's open now. I think it's as open. I think in their minds it's as open. And I wouldn't be surprised if the owner said, "Hey, listen, it needs to be open now. It's been closed enough." But that's why you do it.
Yeah, I would agree. In terms of Balky, I would say that I think they got way too hung up on, we don't want to disrupt this. We've got a good thing going.
I do too.
And where did that lead you? It led you to an embarrassing collapse and missing the tournament and conceding the division to a team that you should have finished 5 games better in the standings then. So I think now in looking at it, I don't think that will be as big of a concern. But, the window is open. Chances need to be taken. Risks need to be assumed. And they need to do what it's going to take to unseat Houston and make a run at this thing, because the window is absolutely open.
I've not always been the go sign the old veteran guy. I've always kind of liked the 27-year-old guy that you can hopefully he's going to be here 3 to 5 years. I've kind of liked the 3 to 5 year guy, the 27-year-old 3 to 5 year guy. I've always liked that. But I do know when they went and got Bryce Popp and Hardy Nickerson and Carnell Lake, and I'm missing a few others, I know when they did that it was because now's the time. Leon Searcy. When they went and did it, now it was because now's the time, and I think now's the time. So we'll see what winds up happening. All right, well, we'll take a break. I'll update you on what's going on in the baseball out here. I want to talk about coaches and where they'll end, not where they'll begin, not where they'll go, where they'll end. Let's talk some coaching. It's a fun Friday. We'll look ahead to some college basketball coming up. We'll update you on college baseball that's already underway. We got a lot of stuff to do on a February Friday. Live from the ballpark, we do want to thank our friends from Big Chief Tire Company. Always a Big Chief Tire Friday around here. 5 locations on the First Coast. There's the West Side, 2 on the West Side, and Orange Park. The North Side and the South Side over here on Phillips Highway. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
A new NASCAR season starts Sunday with the biggest race of them all.
And there's nobody that's better than Daytona.
The Daytona 500, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Save big at Key Buick GMC, like up to $15,000 off all new GMC trucks, or choose $8,500 in savings with 2.9 APR financing for up to 72 months. Need some low APR rates? Key Buick GMC has them. Rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months, 3.9% for 48 months, 4.9% up to 60 months, and 5.9% APR for 72 months. That's Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade on the corner of South Side and Gate.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Tomorrow is our monthly card show inside Showtime, landing on the 3rd Saturday of the month and running from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Over 20 tables of sports cards and more from our reliable vendors. Hang out with the collecting community this Saturday at Showtime. Sports cards and collectibles. Update your collection.
Dave Matthews Band Live, May 28th and 29th, Daly's Place.
He wakes up in the morning. Mama said, baby, don't you cry. In the dark, be the light. Don't let go, baby.
Dave Matthews Band. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Dave Matthews Band Live.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Nicholas, President of the Jacksonville Humane Society. The Players is proud to support our mission in providing care, comfort, and compassion to animals in need here in Northeast Florida. 25 days to go.
The President's Day weekend sale is here at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 20% off used clubs, 30% off select apparel, and get custom fit on the new tailor-made QI10 drivers. Book your free custom fitting online today. Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the President's Day weekend sale, or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 16, 2005, the NHL season is canceled. First time in American pro sports a league season was canceled due to labor disputes. Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
This is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about how God never fails us. In the Bible, Christ says this: I will in no way fail you or leave you without support. This is so important to remember because we can have the attitude, where is God when I need him? Why is this problem happening to me? No, just because your mind is saying one thing doesn't mean that God isn't going to do what he said. God has never failed us in the past. He's not about to start right now.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
What is the perfect NFL quarterback passer rating? The answer coming up.
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates instead of renewing year in and year out. Log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote in minutes.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The absolute perfect passer rating in a single game is 158.3.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Choose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
A customer called Duck Duck Rooter saying they had some nasty stuff backing up inside their home. So we went with our camera to look inside their plumbing lines. And sure enough, tree roots in the sewer line. Need to see what's blocking your lines? Call our team to locate the issue and provide solutions to resolve it. 904-862-6769. Visit duckduckrooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Duck Duck Rooter, your fully insured and certified plumbing contractor, residential and commercial.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, you have told us about the importance of cutting a diamond properly and about color and weight. But how do you judge the clarity of a diamond?
Frank, that's a good question that has a very specific answer. Diamonds are graded at 10-power magnification using a binocular microscope. But when you're shopping for diamonds, a lot of times a sales clerk will just hand you a magnifying glass called a jeweler's loupe and have you look into the diamond. While an expert knows how to do this, it's kind of tough on a novice because they don't know how to create the same dark field illumination that a binocular microscope gives. As a result, the customer may or may not be able to see anything. That's why at Underwoods we set the clarity grade of a diamond with a binocular microscope. We have these instruments in every store and invite our customers to examine the diamond underneath them. We can show you the microscopic inclusions that affect the rarity and value of a diamond. So if you're shopping for fine quality diamonds and want the facts, come see us at Underwoods.
That's Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Back to more of Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Family owned since 1961. It's Big Chief Tire.
It is a Big Chief Tire Friday. We are live here at Bregan Baseball Complex. The cornhole game behind us still going strong.
Strong, very strong.
It's very strong. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, I'm Lauren Brooks. RJ Saunders back at 1010XL World Headquarters. We've got some college baseball going on right now. Delaware is leading UNF 5-2, so the Ospreys have some work to do. And JU is playing host to Cincinnati, and that game is all tied up at 5. JU originally led 4-0. That one tied up at 5. So they've got doubleheaders, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., both of those schools. So if you want to watch some college baseball, get out to either UNF or JU for a first pitch at 6 p.m., or come here and watch all sorts of high school softball and high school baseball. Getting underway in just a few minutes, we will have West Nassau Sandalwood on the baseball side, Bishop Snyder, Bishop Kenny on the softball side, and Providence v. Fletcher is going on right now on the far field.
Let me tell you how equal opportunity my friend Lauren Brooks is. Can I share something with you?
Absolutely.
So it's been kind of chilly out here. Yesterday.
Or I'm just a cold weather wimp. But that's fine.
Well, I am a cold weather wimp. Yesterday, Lauren had her JU hoodie on. Okay. She was rocking the Dolphins, and I noticed that. Is that true?
That's very true.
She had the JU hoodie on today. She's got on the UNF quarter zip. Okay,
Nice.
that is. But I'm not going to lie. I expect FSCJ and Edward Waters next week. So
well,
that.
Frank, when people give me
free
swag,
stuff. That's right. It's all about the swag.
That's correct. Somehow, some way, as I've complained in the past, Hays has a walk-off charities hoodie, which I would love to be sporting, but I've never been given.
Didn't
one.
I offer you one? You said you wouldn't wear it. That never happened. Am I imagining? Seriously, am I imagining that? Because you said that the other day. I said, did you want
like
one
a
of these?
thick sweatshirt? I won't wear, but a thin one. I love thin sweatshirts.
I think now.
But either way.
Even if it's a smaller guy size, you'd wear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what he's got on, I've got some of those.
Okay, yeah.
You'd wear it.
So I'm clearly begging. And
Okay, no, you're not begging.
It worked.
When you said that, I said, didn't I offer her? And she said,
I thought you offered me like the thick hoodie sweatshirt.
Okay, well,
and I was like,
I love those.
You
got one.
That's fantastic.
You didn't want the thick one, so maybe I offered you. Okay,
just the very thin, like I've been wearing JU and F.
This
anyone
is
else wants to give me one?
not that you're picky or anything.
Yeah.
But okay.
When it's like 65 to 68, this is unbelievable.
The thin hoodies are what's kind of all the rage. So
nice.
All right, you got one coming. I can promise you.
All right, sounds good.
So there's that.
All right, let's get to where some coaches will end up. I feel like we have to start with Billy Napier.
Yeah. Where does – I know where you're going to go, Hays, but I'm going to let you go anyway. Where does Billy Napier – how old is he, 44-ish?
Yeah, I think.
When Billy Napier's 58, where is he and what will he have – seriously, I'm a serious question. What will he have done?
He'll be in your grandstand selling cotton candy.
Too easy?
Yeah.
It's too easy, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Too easy.
He is 44.
I think when he's 58, he'll be the receivers coach at Georgia.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I kind of think my gut tells me because of the schedule and whatnot, it's probably not working here. I want it to so badly, and my gut is that he immediately becomes receivers coach at a good school. And maybe the school's best recruiter.
Yeah,
he maybe becomes best recruiter.
He could be like the head coach at Tulane.
Yeah.
For forever.
and I think that's coming too, Lauren. I think my guess is that Billy Napier winds up. I think Hays is right. I think he's the receivers coach at Georgia at some point, but I think he gets another crack at Tulane or Southern Miss. You were one step ahead of me. I was going to say Southern Miss. You said the same thing.
I picked a school in Louisiana.
Yeah. But I can see that too. But I think I'm not sure that goes great either. It might. But I think he's at 58. I think he's the receivers coach at Auburn, Georgia. I think that's right too. And I want it to work for him. I do find myself thinking that he's a terribly nice guy, that he's a terribly hard worker, that he's a smart guy, but I don't know that knack is there. You just don't feel like that knack.
I think that's well said. I think he is a nice person, and I take no pleasure in the 1,000 jokes I make at his expense every week.
We're doing a radio show, but in the real world,
he's a very nice guy.
I hear you.
And I wish he would succeed, obviously. So yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, I think he's going to get a lot of chances because he is, I think, easy to work with. I think he's got a great temperament. I think he's in it for the right reasons to make an impact on young men's lives. I think all that's there with Billy Napier. I just don't think he's all that talented as a coach, as a head coach.
I can understand that. And I think if Anthony Richardson has success with the Colts next season, like he was starting to at the beginning of this season, and we look back, it may be that he had Anthony Richardson, one of the better quarterbacks to ever play at Florida, and potentially DJ Lagway and still not be successful, assuming DJ Lagway is who we think he's going to be. I mean, you don't get many opportunities to work with quarterbacks better than that potential combo.
All right. What about Lauren, go first. What about Mike Norvell? And I guess he's 40, early 40s, too.
I think they're about the same age.
44.
So,
he might be a little younger than
Where is he at age 58? And what will he have done?
So we've seen a little bit of a trend as far as college coaches wanting to leave the ranks of college football and head to the NFL. So assuming he's 42, assuming he doesn't choose to leave, I think he's still the coach at Florida State.
In 14 years.
In 14 years.
I think he goes to a different college program, with one caveat being if the Noles escape the ACC. But I don't sense that it's going to be easy. And if I assume the Noles are going to be in the ACC, I think Mike Norvell's really good. But I've said that before anybody else said it. I mean, I've always thought that. I think he winds up as the Oklahoma or Texas coach. He's from Texas. I think at some point, and Nole fans, I'm not knocking, this isn't a knock on your school, because if Billy Napier was as good as I think Mike Norvell is, my answer would be that Billy Napier winds up as the Alabama coach. All right, so this is I'm not picking on FSU. I think he winds up as the Texas coach, the Oklahoma coach at some point.
That's funny. I was going to say the Texas head coach, so I'll say he'll be LSU's head coach.
Were you really going to say that?
I was.
Same
yeah,
thing,
that's sort of what I think. I think while
so you think he's really good too, though. That's.
I don't know that he's
Texas head coach if you're not pretty good.
I don't know that you're right. I don't know that he is. I'll say this: he's obviously outstanding at building a program. I still have some questions about how good of a game day guy he is,
right.
But he can get better. Kirby Smart got better, and so I mean, and because the resistance is so pathetic in the ACC, I think he's going to continue to win. Like, he's not going to have another 7-win or less season with the Seminoles. I mean, barring like 20 injuries, something just crazy with attrition, because that conference has become such an absolute joke that I just don't think the resistance is there for Florida State to do anything worse than like 9-3. And in some years, I think Florida State's going to be close to what they were this year. I don't know that they'll go like 12-0 and run through it, but I think 10-2, 11-1. I think that's going to be there. And I think, to your point, I think eventually it's got to be fatiguing. Now, Florida State, to their credit, has poured investment into football. But at some point, if they don't get out from the ACC, it's not only get out from the ACC, it's get into the Big Ten or the SEC, then they will eventually be at a financial disadvantage. And most football coaches they're not going to be, they're not going to be tolerant of playing on an uneven playing condition when it's available for them to go elsewhere where the deck is more stacked in their favor. So that's what I see. I would think he does well at FSU, but eventually, I think eventually the right dream opportunity. I don't think he'll be like Jimbo Fisher, who basically sends out resumes every offseason. But I think eventually the right job will come, and he will be, unlike Alabama, he'll be the primary guy that they want. And I think it'll be too much to pass up.
But both of you think FSU will be able to exit the ACC and land in another conference?
I don't know. I've gone back and forth on that. I almost now think that's not going to happen. Because I think that would change my opinion. If you could tell me they're going to be in the Big Ten, he might settle in. Because I don't see him as an NFL guy. I see him as college guy. He's a little Kirby Smart in him, so I don't see him as NFL. And look, FSU's not a program you escape. The conference is one you escape. Now, again, Florida's not a program you escape either, but I'll stand my ground on this. If Billy Napier had turned out to be fantastic or turns out to be fantastic, Florida's got a fight on their hands if Georgia or Alabama come open. He was raised in Georgia. He's a Southern guy. Florida's not a Southern state. It's not. It's in the SEC. He's a Southern guy, man. He's old school Southern. Florida hasn't had a lot of old school Southern coaches. Think about this. They haven't had that. Charlie Pell was that. Okay, Charlie Pell was old school Southern coach. Will Muschamp was that. But I promise you Mullen wasn't that. Urban wasn't that. McElwain wasn't that.
Spurrier was Southern.
Spurrier, yeah.
Because he's from Tennessee?
Yeah, you know what's funny? Yes and no. He's from there. He's from there, but I don't know that I feel like he was Southern. He was more NFL guy than good old Southern boy to me, you know? So but I hear you. So it's a little of both. From the South, but I don't feel like raised on Southern. Do you? I don't feel like raised on Southern football guy when I think of Spurrier.
I would say, yeah, Southern. I mean, Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh, no, he's from the South.
Yeah.
It may be.
Now, I will say, like, I mean, Galen Hall was from, like, Penn State, right?
Correct, yeah.
From the Northeast.
I guess when I think of Southern guy, I eliminate any interest in the NFL. And I don't know why. I don't know why it equates that way, but I kind of eliminate it.
I'm not as worried if Billy Napier ends up being great. I'm not as worried about him leaving Florida.
Yeah.
To go to Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it could happen, but
Yeah.
but I that would surprise me, particularly since that's not his alma mater.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing. The alma mater card is always a concern.
Absolutely. Okay.
Well, he's not leaving Florida to go to Furman,
Right.
so not voluntarily. So I think in terms of Napier, if Napier does succeed, then I don't think he leaves for another college. But in looking at it with Norvell, yeah, I mean, I think the thing too to me is it's not just can they get out from the ACC. Is the SEC or the Big Ten going to invite them?
Right.
And here's the other part of that: if they invite them, are they going to then say, "Yeah, we'll take you, but you've got no leverage"? So we're going to pay you a very reduced share for 6 years. So you could have crippling legal fees. Plus, even when you get out, you're not getting the $100 million a year that you thought. Some of these schools. What Florida State is going to have to deal with is all these schools that just left, SMU and Cal, and all these schools that left and said we'll take reduced rates and payouts. That's going to hurt FSU.
What about? And we'll get to that. That's a very interesting point. Let's stay on the coaches. Todd Golden. Where's Todd Golden in 10 years?
Head coach of an NBA team. Pick your NBA team.
NBA team. What about you?
Coaching the Miami Heat. He's Spoelstra's successor.
Yeah, he's got that written all over him. I might go there, but if he's good, I also could see him at UCLA, West Coast guy. I could see him at prominent Kansas. I could see him in North Carolina.
Florida's basketball coach could absolutely get poached.
Yeah,
by North Carolina.
Not could. I think will.
Well, would probably
because he's got no ties to the region.
Correct.
He's got no. I think
I don't see it as much with Napier, but with Golden, absolutely, he could take a bigger job.
Yeah, because
college basketball.
Right. Say what you want. Florida football is a forever blue blood. You know. Florida basketball is not, and so I could see. So for me, I could kind of see that at some point. Doug Peterson
at 58.
Yeah.
What is he now?
He's 55 now. But
okay, so you're just like in 15 years.
Yeah, 7-8 years.
Doug Peterson retires with 8 Super Bowl championships.
You know what?
1 with Philly and 7 with the Jaguars.
I'll tell you this. I'm probably not going to go 8 Super Bowl champs, although I might. but I do think he's the Jaguars coach for a long time. I think Todd's tired of changing coaches. I think Doug's not the guy that's looking to change jobs a lot. I don't think he ever wanted to leave Philly. I'll bet you he's the Jaguars football coach for all because good coaches are staying a long time now. The NFL, the good coaches don't jump. They get fired sometimes. They don't jump. I'll bet he's the coach I'll bet you 10 years from now he's the Jaguars football coach. I'll tell you that right now.
I think he's the Jaguars football coach for as long as he wants to be, with retirement somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to coach till he's 75.
Yeah.
I think he voluntarily retires at some point. By the way, what about Mario Cristobal, who's 53?
We didn't get to Mario. Good call. I think Mario Cristobal is the offensive line coach at Texas. I think I think he's another guy that you're right. Memphis would hire him. I don't think it's going to work at Miami. And in fairness to him, I'm not sure it would with anybody, but I don't see a happy landing in Miami for him. What about you?
I think he'll win the Nobel Prize for mathematics. Okay. I think that I think he'll be probably. I think he'll get a long leash at Miami because they realize, I think, how tenuous their program would be. So I'll say he's at Miami another 6-7 years with middling success. and eventually they part ways, and he goes and, becomes the most sought-after offensive line coach in college football.
One thing, but he would get another head job if he wanted. He'd get a Group of 5 job if he wanted it. The one interesting thing as we get set to go to break here, bringing Pete Prisco, the interesting thing to me is, have the expectations changed at Miami and Florida and schools that haven't been to the mountaintop? If all of a sudden you got a 9 or 10 win coach, is that good for the long haul?
I think at Miami it is.
Yeah, at Miami I think it would be.
I think it would be.
I think if you never bust past, if you're winning no fewer than 9 and as many as 10,
Well, and again, this is where it's really interesting, because Florida State has been the whiner in the ACC. No one else has really. I mean, there have been complaints here and there.
Clemson is quiet. Clemson let FSU carry the torch.
Correct, but a school like Miami, in my opinion, has been very quiet about the whole thing. So, where do they see themselves? What is their ultimate goal? What becomes of Miami football? Because Miami football could get left behind. And if it gets left behind, well, then everything changes. Cristobal probably has to try and get out of there. Yeah. Or does he stay, even though it's harder to compete for a national title? But it's his alma mater, and because of that, do they? It's Miami's interesting because you really don't know where they're going over the next 10 years, assuming the ACC collapses. Now, if the grant of rights stays in place, then we know where they'll be until 2036. Right. But Miami's one that I could see it going either way. That they're very aggressive to get out. I think they certainly have the money to fight it if they want, or do they just kind of, accept whatever happens? I'm surprised I'm surprised that all the other schools that won out have been so quiet compared to Florida State, who basically has taken a Molotov cocktail and thrown it through ACC headquarters.
They really have. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's get into the NFL. Our friend Pete Prisco joined us, brought to you by Showtime on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history. 1010XL.
Now at Hodges Mazda, take advantage of 0% APR on a new 2024 Mazda SUV. Lauren Brooks here. Choose from the off-road ready 2024 Mazda CX-50 or go in style in a 2024 Mazda CX-30. With 0% APR for 60 months, you can choose the Mazda CX-30 or Mazda CX-50 to drive away. Our professional non-commissioned sales team always puts your best interests first. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with 2 years free maintenance. Visit Hodges Mazda or shop online at HodgesMazda.com for the Hodges Mazda difference. See dealer for details, terms of use, qualified applicants, expires February 29th, 2024.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Growing up at the beach, I know good shrimp and oysters when I see them. It's local and it's fresh. That's why Mayport CNC Fisheries is my go-to for both. They have local shrimp in stock daily and fresh boxes of oysters. Eat like a local at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
This leap year, something extraordinary is happening at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. On February 29th, we're unleashing a flurry of cash prizes, totaling $29,000. From 2 p.m. to midnight, the stakes will be high and the competition fierce. Are you ready to seize your share of the winnings? Don't hesitate. Head over to bestbetjacks.com for full details. And we'll see you at the table, February 29th.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hoops fans, meet the Jacksonville 95ers, the city's newest basketball heroes. Get up close, grab autographs, snap photos, and feel the thrill. Wednesday, February 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Players Grill Mandarin. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
With modern smart home technology, you can control almost everything from the palm of your hand or your voice. Call the experts at Mr. Sparky.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Ackerman Cancer Center now offers total body MRI, the latest industry-leading technology. Just one non-invasive scan provides a complete picture of your health to detect and monitor cancer with precision at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents
Are You Cool?
Today's lucky contestant, a coffee filter repairman from Jacksonville Beach. Meet Dave Carvelas.
Great to be here, Pat.
No time to chit-chat, Dave. Here's your question. Your AC has been acting up. Do you A, ignore it and hope it gets better on its own? 2, take off all your clothes when you watch TV and hope that does the trick? Or C, call Bueller Air Conditioning?
Oh, jeez. I do like to sit around with no pants on.
5 seconds, Dave.
I'll say C. Call Bueller.
That's right, Dave. A quick call to Bueller will have our expert AC technicians at your door, usually the same day, to make sure that you are cool.
Can I still watch the game with no pants on?
It's America, Dave. Knock yourself out.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update. Jaguar new defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen had nothing but praise for the new roster when he spoke to the media.
We've got a talented group. We've got some really good players, and that's what was exciting and attracted us about the job here. We're really excited to get to work with these guys.
It's the latest edition of Florida versus Georgia in men's basketball on Saturday afternoon. Head coach Todd Golden knows the Dogs will be ready.
They're going to be ready to play. Obviously, we've had some success against them. They've struggled a little bit lately. I think they've lost 5 in a row, but have some really close games that could have gone either way.
Hear the game live on 1010XL, starting with the pregame at 12:30. The Icemen open the weekend at home against the Florida Everblades, a team that's looking to lock down a final playoff berth from the East Coast Hockey League South Division. Puck drops at 7 p.m. this evening at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
70 degrees at 4:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
Time to talk a little NFL with my buddy Pete Prisco from CBSSports.com. It is brought to you by Showtime. Showtime tomorrow's got that monthly in-store card show. It's from 9 to 4. Man, it is a great card show. They've got all kind of vendors, all kind of items. If you're a collector, you got to get in there. It's on Phillips Highway at the end of Shad Road. They do a great job. And remember, tomorrow, once a month, they have that in-store card show. From 9 to 4, it is fantastic, and you've stopped by a time or two.
Oh, Jackson, I love Showtime, and they were so nice. J.D. Richard came out yesterday or 2 days ago, brought Jackson a pack of fresh baseball cards,
Yep.
which he opened last night. He got Shohei Ohtani.
How about that?
How about
That's
that?
a good start.
And many more. So he was very excited. And yeah, whenever it's his birthday, Christmas, we roll into Showtime, or if we're just in the neighborhood, because it's. I love it.
It's a great card.
I love walking through it, but he absolutely adores it. So, if you're looking for a place, it's Showtime.
And JD and Richard kind enough to bring us a bunch of stuff that we'll use in auction items for walk-off. So thank you, fellas. We sure appreciate that. Let's say hello to Pete Prisco. Checks in now. Pete, how you doing, buddy?
Last week I was on set working on Saturday, and I'm freezing, and the fountains are blowing cold water on me. And I look at this thing, I look on Twitter, and Frank's playing golf in like 90-degree, 80-degree weather or whatever it was. I'm like, use it. I was so pissed at you.
and Pete, just if I can rub it in just a little bit, the pictures didn't do justice to how perfect the weather was that day, just so you know.
I was so envious, and I'm thinking, oh, my God.
It was about as perfect as it could be. Pete, all kind of things to get to. Let's start with Ryan Nielsen. He spoke to the media. I like this guy. I like what he said. I like the fact that they made him available. You all I think you had a good feeling about him anyway, but did you glean anything from what he said, and what are your thoughts on the new coordinator here?
Nothing but good things heard about him from people in the league. I mean, he's a coach's coach. They love him. He's going to get the best out of those defensive linemen for sure. He's going to be a good play caller. The only negative is he's a USC guy. That's the only negative on his resume. And we got to listen to Baselli talk about how great he is every week, even if they're giving up 600 yards. But, yeah, I think it's a great hire. I really do. I think he's the kind of guy they need in that building to get the best out of that defense.
Pete, from listening to Ryan talk yesterday, I haven't been super on board with corner at 17 for the Jaguars, but to hear him talk about how you get off the field on third down and quarterbacks get the ball out of their hands so quick, you've got to be sticky and let your edge rush get there. Do you like corner at 17 if the right guy is there? And is that the reading that you got from listening to Ryan?
Well, all you got to do is look at the Super Bowl last week. I mean, there's your example. You had L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie locked up the two receivers for San Francisco, and even with their supposedly great pass rush, they weren't able to, a pass rush that's, other than Chris Jones isn't great, they weren't able to get the ball out and get to open guys. And so when I look at that, I say, you know what? It makes a lot of sense to grab a corner. And it helps, they work hand in hand. It helps now with being able to cover in man-to-man situations and locking guys up and not playing off coverage and having a guy who can go up and press the guy and run with him and stay with him. So, yeah, it would definitely make sense. Now, I'm all for usually drafting big people if you need them and they need them. So if you look at where they fall, if there's a really good player there that's a big guy that can help the offensive line, or a big defensive interior lineman, then I would consider that. But cornerback's certainly a priority for that team.
Pete, after the Super Bowl, I always like to compare the Jaguars roster to the two teams. Which roster is the Jaguars closer to, the Chiefs or the 49ers?
Well, I think the 49ers roster is better, but there's always the Mahomes factor. This Chiefs team was gettable. This was not one of the better Chiefs teams. You look at both tackles, and by the way, anybody in Jacksonville who was mad, and I was one of them. I thought they should keep Jawan Taylor. He did not play well for the Chiefs this year. The left tackle was a problem. The receivers couldn't catch the ball. They had, really until Rice emerged late in the season, had all kinds of issues. They're good on defense. But if you were going to get the Chiefs, this was the year to get them. So I'd say Jacksonville's roster is closer to the Chiefs with one asterisk next to it. They don't have Michael Jordan playing quarterback.
And that's the thing. So let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl and the Chiefs. I agree with you. Here's why I thought they were gettable. They made a mistake, I think, Pete, Brent Veach, in building that team in not valuing wide receivers. Their receiving core was no good. And they had Kelsey, who's great. And they had the rookie, but they got away with it, and now they're going to load up on some receivers. So isn't that one of the reasons they were that gettable, is because out wide they weren't very good, I don't think, Pete?
Well, they tried to address receiver. Sky Moore was a second-round pick and hadn't worked out. I mean, they tried to address it, just hadn't worked out for him. But you're right. When you don't have – trading away Tyreek Hill, everybody looks at that, but, that defense is pretty much built on what they got back from Tyreek Hill. So it worked out for them. They still won 2 Super Bowls without him. But you're right. The element of having a type of guy like that, they didn't have. And they need to get it. And I think they will get it. They'll probably use a draft pick on a wide receiver. They'll probably also look into the veteran free agent market. And there's a lot of guys in there that can help that offense. And guys are going to want to go play there with Mahomes. So I think they'll address it in the offseason, and they'll be much better next year.
Pete, do you like the idea of the Jaguars in free agency throwing, let's say, $11 million a year at a center and $8 million a year at a right guard?
Well, I'll give you an example. I'm doing my top 100 free agent list for next week. Yes, there's no time off. You know that. Andre James from the Raiders is a guy, if I were them, I would take a long, hard look at him. He's been a consistent starter. He's not the overpowering center, but, man, he's good in pass protection. He can move the way they move their people. I think he would make a lot of sense for them in their offense at center. And then if you want to address guard, there's some other guard. Kevin Zeitler's a veteran guard. There's some other guys in this. Michael Onwenu has played tackle and guard for the Patriots. He's a guy that you can keep an eye on as well. I think would I do it? Yes, I would address it. I would make sure Josh Allen's back. I would do everything I can to try and get Ridley back. I'm not going to go crazy on the contract. I would get 2 offensive linemen in free agency if I could, and then in the draft I would address corner, and then maybe even come back, get some more young weapons to go with that offense.
How do the Jaguars get a guy like Chris Jones?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I think Chris Jones is going to go back. I really do. And he kind of, he shouldn't have said what he said at the parade because he just, told his agent, look, it doesn't matter, I want to come back. But he said he wants to go back. And, there is an attractiveness there to go back to the Chiefs and try and win 3 in a row. I mean, nobody's ever done it. I mean, that would be incredible. And I think that's why they're going to end up with some of those guys like him, maybe even Willie Gay, guys, free agents on the list. They're going to end up going back to Kansas City.
So let me go back to where you were with the Jags for a second, because I like what you're thinking. Let's say, for argument's sake, they free up money with cutting Cam and Rayshon Jenkins, and they free up some dollars. Your formula, because I agree with it, I think. Your formula would be use the dollars on offensive line, interior offensive line, keep the guys that you've now got a mechanism to keep with both Ridley and Josh Allen, and then draft skill, right? Is that? I mean, it's not that black and white, but that's kind of it, right?
Yeah, and maybe at some point in the draft, or even in free agency, if you still have some more money, get a big, wide body, to go help the defensive line. It doesn't have to be an expensive guy. I'll give you one. I don't know what Stewart's going to get from, he was suspended 6 games last year from the Colts, but you saw what he can do when he plays. He handled them in the interior. He's a good player in the interior. Daquan Jones, he's up in the years, but you can get a guy like that. So, yeah, I do think you can spend your money on your linemen, draft skill people, corner, maybe even another, receiver, those kind of people in the draft. I think that's what they need to do.
Any chance C.J. Stroud has a sophomore slump?
No. 0. None. It's baby Dan Marino. He walked in, he threw it, he was outstanding throwing it, and I don't think he's going to get worse. That kid has it. And, again, I compare him to Marino in large part because Marino was good in college, and Frank will remember this. He was a good player in college, but he was a great NFL player, and I think that's where we go with C.J. Stroud.
Pete, by the way, how did Vegas do as far as the Super Bowl is concerned? I know you didn't love the weather.
Fantastic. It's a great venue. I mean, it is. Everything is right there. I mean, it's easy to get around. Now, the traffic got really bad. What happened was there were a lot of 49er fans who didn't go to the game but came to Vegas. Because, you can go to Vegas and not go to the game and still have a good time. And so a lot of them came. So the crowds by the end of the week, it was because there was a West Coast team in the game. There was a lot of 49er fans that didn't go to the game but made it crowded. So from a crowd standpoint, it's not great, but they have so many things to do in restaurants and bars, and it's easy to move around. That they will be back there, and they will be back there soon.
Yeah, I would think Vegas would be a perfect venue. Final thing, we'll let you go. All right, Pete, now the offseason is here, but the schedule doesn't stop. The league year starts March 11th. At least that's when the legal tampering begins. What do you think this time around? Are the Jags active? Are they active with their own people? Do they spend in free agency? I mean, we'll all be at the Combine. I think Doug and Trent are both coming on with me, so I'll get a little bit of an idea. But is this an off season of activity across the board in your mind?
I bet Trent won't come on with me. Yeah, I think this should be an off-season of activity. Look, you showed a year ago where you were, and it just didn't happen this year. You're not that far off. You played that Super Bowl team. You led them 3-0 until the stupid decision at the end of the half. You led them 3-0. Your defense shut that offense down. Now, that was a different offense back then, but you shut them down. So, yeah, I do think they need to go for it. Go get it. Go get guys. You have a quarterback. He might have a new deal, but he might not. And go get guys to supplement him, get physical on both sides of the ball, but also be able to do things on defense you couldn't do because your corners couldn't play man coverage. I think that's what they have to do in the offseason. Again, Andre James, a center, get a guard, get a big guy somehow, some way in the middle of that defense, and then draft the skill people like the corners and another wide receiver, and I think you'll be fine moving forward.
I love the formula. Pete Prisco checking in from CBS Sports.
You guys going next week?
We will be at the Combine. Yes, we will. We'll be there, and I'll track you down, and we'll go to Prime 47 or 47 Prime, wherever you're the mayor, and we'll hang out. That's what we're going to do. That's the plan.
You got it. We will definitely do that. And, by the way, it's a week from Monday, in case anybody's wondering. Not that I'm counting down the days. It's a week from Monday.
Sounds good. Pete, thanks, buddy. Have a good weekend.
See you guys.
All right, Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com. As always, brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Again, the in-store card show is tomorrow, 9 until 4. They do a fantastic job of that. All those vendors tomorrow, and Hays, remind us one more time how much you're a card guy. You were a card guy growing up. Jackson's a card guy, and you loved it.
It's fantastic. I'm 47. I love it. Jackson's 13. He loves it. So if you're in any one of those demographics,
that's exactly
go
right.
Check out Showtime.
Or anywhere in between. Showtime Sports Cards and Collectible on Phillips Highway at the end of Shad Road. More in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
1010XL, proud to live in Duval.
Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville is excited about the new 2024 all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
We have over 11 in stock with more on the way.
Come in today to test drive the all-electric Lyriq. It's an experience like no other.
And if you drive home with one today, we'll take $7,500 off your new Cadillac Lyriq at signing.
That means no need to wait for the end of the year tax credit. You get the $7,500 today.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Plus tax tag title, $8.99 admin fee and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent you.
Patriot Roofing Services, specializing in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights as well. 10-year workmanship warranty, financing available, military and senior citizen discounts, no subcontractors. Mention this ad at the time of the estimate and receive $500 off any new re-roof. Call Mark today, 982-4052, 982-4052, licensed and insured.
This is Hays Carlyon for Register Sausage. Fantastic news as you can now find delicious Register sausage at Publix or Winn-Dixie. Starting 82 years ago in Mariana, Register's is the premium smoked pork sausage of the Southeast. Whether it's for a quick breakfast or dinner with the family, Register's provides the variety and quality that is worth your hard-earned money. Register's premium smoked pork sausage. Taste the difference. Pick up your Register sausage at Publix or Winn-Dixie today, or find them online at registermeats.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
When you hear that phone ring on 1010XL, hello, we're bringing you another great guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Where's the phone? Over there.
Listen for great phone interviews all day on the All-Pro Roofing phone line on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
If you have had problems selling your home or haven't even bothered selling because of the problems that you would expect, here's a promise for you. Chad and Sandy of chadandsandy.com guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Simple as that, right? So if maybe you are worried about selling for less money, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home but not sure how, they have the answers, the solutions, the promises to take care of all that. Take it from Debbie in Orange Park. I was going through a divorce and needed to be close to family quickly. I was going to sell my home to an instant offer investor for $375,000, but I heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and decided to call. Thank goodness. Chad and Sandy got me $45,000 more in just 3 days. Call the only agents we're trusting and recommending. Call Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. The number is 904-414-6200, or you can go to chadandsandy.com. That's chadandsandy.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. Thanks to the coaches and the schools who believe in our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is head coach Ferland Dormery of Trinity Christian Academy High School. Our athletic program selected Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to work with our state championship football team and will continue to use them. We recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Baloo here for Spunez Vision. Why Spunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Spunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Spunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Spunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SpunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in $2.95.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-50.
If you need an automotive service of any kind, go see our friends at Big Chief Tire Company. They do a great job, and we certainly do appreciate our friends from Big Chief. Pete made some interesting points. I like his plan.
I do too.
I think the plan is, I would agree with that. It's never that black and white. I know that. I mean, it's never that cut and dried. But if you can go get your offensive line fixed with veterans, go get maybe one more veteran that's some depth along the defensive front, and then keep your two key guys that are Allen and Ridley, and you've got the wherewithal to do that.
Yeah.
And then use your draft for corners and receivers. Again, it's not quite that cut and dried, but I like that. I like that model. I do.
I do too, and I think it is a attainable path. I mean, I think there will be some centers available. Pete mentioned the Vegas center he likes. The expectation is the Dolphin Center is going to be available He is a quality young player. So, you're going to have to spend a little bit at center, but they could do it. And guard is pretty economical. I mean, it's not going to be a Brandon Sheriff contract or an Andrew Norwell contract or a Zane Beadles contract. I mean, God almighty, how many guards have they paid? But it's not going to have to be extreme money for a guard. They need a competent starter at right guard. So I think both those boxes can certainly be checked off in free agency. And then, you have the ability at 17 to kind of let the board fall to you. I mean, look, it's one of those things. I don't think it's going to happen, but you're at 17. There's probably going to be 4 quarterbacks selected in the first 16, so you're taking the 13th best non-quarterback. I mean, what if Brock Bowers falls to you?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sprinting to the podium.
Right. I mean, there could be the special talent that somehow gets to 17 that no one thought would be there, and it's like, well, it doesn't really necessarily fit exactly our biggest need, but how do we turn down taking this player?
And to that end, Lauren, everybody loves to talk about value over need. I rarely believe them, but the teams that can do that are the teams that already have a decent roster and were active in free agency to fill the holes they didn't have. Then it does become value over need if you've addressed a lot of your need in the free agent period.
I mean, other than running back and linebacker, if I told y'all they selected any other position in quarterback, if I told y'all they selected any other position, you'd probably go, well, I can see it. Maybe not safety, but as far as cornerback is concerned, certainly wide receiver, offensive line, tight end, okay, probably not. But for the most, get my point.
If it was Bowers, maybe.
But it's Bowers. It would be the exception to the rule. Otherwise, you're not drafting a tight end. But I'm just saying that they have needs at multiple positions. Edge rusher, like we've talked about. I mean, you need another guy if Josh Allen or Trayvon Walker, if one of them goes down, who do you have behind them?
And I'll say this, too. This won't be popular with you or little fans. I understand not wanting to say Luke Fortner is the biggest bust of all time. Let's cut him. I understand that. But to your point and the point we've all made, either A, he has to play much better, and B, they've got to bring in competition at the very least in the event that he doesn't. I understand having a guy that you like, having a guy that wasn't terrible as a rookie, a guy that looked like he went backwards a little bit, believing there's
literally backwards.
Yeah, well, that too. But believing you got a guy that there's something there. I get believing there's something there. I'm okay with that.
And I wouldn't cut him. He's cheap.
Yeah.
And you got 2 more years left on the deal.
And there's a lot.
He just, in my opinion, is a backup.
Yeah. He needs competition, and he needs to either beat out that competition legitimately or be the backup. And I think that's so I get that. I mean, and they've made that clear. There's nobody I've heard in that building that thinks we're done with Luke Fortner. I haven't heard that anywhere. But I think you're okay to say, hey, he's got to play better. He's got to play better, or somebody else got to go play. That's the bottom line. Play better, somebody else has to go play. So, but I don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth either. I have stood by this since mid-season on. That's the hole in the football team this year. That has more to do with the 8 losses in my mind than Trevor, play calling, injuries, the interior offensive line. I just thought it got really hard, man. They couldn't. There was no holes for ETN. Trevor had very few clean pockets. Trevor tried to force stuff because he didn't have a lot of clean pockets. I thought there was a lot of truth to all of that. So it'll be interesting to see if they do it. Lauren, I was telling Hays, you were just walking up. I like the Prisco model. Mm-hmm. I really do like the model of pay, use your free. Somehow make sure you keep Josh Allen and try and keep Ridley. I like both those guys on the team. If you have to create some dollars with Cam or Rayshawn or whoever, but then use your free agent dollars to go improve the interior of your offensive line, and I think you said this too, by the way, and then use your draft picks to improve your skill.
Because you don't want rookie offensive linemen up and down.
No, you don't. Well, you'd rather not have any. You already got
you had one last year who performed above all expectations, even though we thought he'd be good. But other than that, you don't want, I feel like, that much youth there. By the way, is Tyler Shatley on the team next year?
No.
Okay.
He's not. You say that.
He might retire.
But they've We've been cutting him so many years.
But if he doesn't retire, I feel like
think
he's on
going to
the
be on the
team.
team.
Oh, yeah. If he,
I would be on the team.
If he doesn't retire, and he should be on the team.
Sure he should.
Absolutely.
He's cheap, and he can play basically any position.
Yeah, I think he is on the team.
But I don't know. I wonder if – I mean, he's had a nice run.
He sure has.
I've heard some talk that he considered retiring and now is reconsidered.
Oh, okay.
So I think there's and I don't know if that's correct or not, but I think Tyler might be on the football
You
team.
got one more year in your shot.
And I hope he is on the team. I agree with you. He's a good guy. He's a good guy to have around. Plays a lot of positions, and he's a tough guy. And he's a tough physical guy. So I think there's a chance he does stick around. So we'll see what happens. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's update you on some college baseball. I got a thought or two about college baseball too. Let's talk about that when we come back. We're live, by the way, from the Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball and Softball Classic, our 6th annual, live from Bragan Baseball Complex at Fort Family Regional Park. You had to remind me. I said 5. You had to remind me it's 6. This is our 6th annual.
This is 6.
And we're
yeah,
excited.
amazing.
We're excited to be out here. We're having a lot of fun. When we come back, we'll talk college baseball and more. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
This organization, do you know what it's called?
Its name is
1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Are you tired of shopping those online dealers that overpromise and underdeliver? Well, find your next used vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC with Car Bravo. Nimnick Buick GMC certifies all makes and models, so buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. And for a limited time, get rates as low as 1.9% APR on select Car Bravo certified vehicles. Shop 24/7 online at Nimnick Buick GMC. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hays Carlyon goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3.
Hays Carlyon here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida, and don't let the state decide your fate.
Lower mortgage rates are here, and smart homeowners are wiping out all their credit card debt with help from Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Right now, Loan Pronto has a cash-out refinance rate of just 5.49%. You heard me. That's a huge drop. So you can get refinanced now, get cash out of your home's equity to wipe out all those credit cards and other high-interest loans. You can save hundreds every month with lower payments. Or, if you still have a mortgage rate in the 3s, you can use Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit. Just get the cash you need and leave your primary mortgage intact. Loan Pronto can get you $50,000, $75,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in just a matter of days. Bottom line, Loan Pronto's got several options to help you erase debt and take control of your finances. Call today, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com, 999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, 5.49%, has 6.39 APR, subject to lender approval.
Are you buying a home with a septic system? Don't do it without getting the septic system inspected first. Call Duck Duck Rooter, Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor. Our team will conduct an in-depth inspection that includes a full report with pictures. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hi, this is Carrie, the office coordinator at the dental practice of Dr. James J. McCall. Dr. McCall, along with me and my fellow team members, are committed to making your visit to the dentist a pleasant one. From scheduling, filing insurance, or reviewing treatment options, you're always our number one priority. When we say join our dental family, we believe it in our hearts. If you are looking for a dentist in a warm and relaxed atmosphere, call the dental office of Dr. McCall at 620-9225.
It's time for some University of North Florida baseball. The Ospreys and the Florida Gators hit the diamond Tuesday, February 20th at Harmon Stadium. First pitch at 6. Reserve your seat now at unfospreys.com/tickets. They're going fast, so get yours today to see the Ospreys take on one of the nation's top teams in the Gators. unfospreys.com. unfospreys.com.
Swoop! 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
At night we ride the mansions of glory and suicide machines.
Bruce Springsteen and baseball, those have to go together
they
for
do.
you.
Absolutely.
Not just
they
like
do.
glory days and stuff, but in general.
Yeah, because that's, you know what, that's Springsteen in the 70s and the 80s, and when I was, absolutely, they go, there's a power to both. Yeah, for me at least.
He could throw that speedball by you.
Make you look like a fool.
That's right. By the way, I've got something. This is not Springsteen, but it's kind of the same genre. I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter. So Billy Joel was on the Stern Show.
Okay.
And he's with his piano, and Stern's a monster, huge Billy Joel fan, and they're friends.
This is a while ago.
No, this just happened. I mean, I think he's interviewed him several times.
Okay.
But this interview just happened.
Post-Grammys, probably?
You can find this on Twitter.
Okay.
And
I have not seen this.
You got to check this out. So they're talking, and he explains. Billy Joel explains what he believes is his greatest song. And forgive me, I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. So it wasn't a song that I was familiar with, but I don't know his whole catalog. I just know like the hit songs.
Yeah.
And so he talks about playing it and the notes and the different quality of note and how this is what makes it a sad song. But if I don't play this, it is awesome. It's only about a 90-second clip,
right.
But it is fascinating. And they had 2 or 3 others that were similar to it. If you're a Billy Joel fan, you'll absolutely. I mean, I liked it. I like Billy Joel, but I'm not like.
Oh, I'm a huge Billy Joel fan.
But for somebody that's a diehard, you've got to go see this. It's really cool to see him talk about his process.
Yeah, I will. You know what? I'll probably do it this weekend because I love stuff.
Yeah, the weather's going to be lovely, so you may as well.
Billy Joel on Stern. Is that what I would YouTube?
Yeah, I would just go on Twitter, go to Stern Show because that's who was tweeting out the highlights of it.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm sure the whole interview is great. I only watched the 2 or 3 clips that were on there.
Yeah, Billy Joel's an interesting guy. He's not always the happiest guy. Have you ever seen him interviewed? Mm-hmm. He can be snarky. I even can tell you when he did the national anthem here. Wasn't it here for the Super Bowl? He did the anthem, or was it Tampa?
I don't remember.
But did he do the anthem here or Tampa?
Did we have Billy Joel and Paul McCartney at the same night?
I think we might have.
Wow.
If not, I may be getting it mixed up with Tampa. It might have been. He might have been doing. He might have done. I wanted to say it was here, but if not, it might have been Tampa when Springsteen played halftime. Okay. I saw Springsteen do halftime in Tampa, and I saw McCartney do halftime here, and I could have sworn Billy Joel did the anthem for one of them. And it was mediated, and anyway, it was the I'm a huge Billy Joel fan.
Right, but he was crusty.
He was crusty. I mean,
2007 was the Super Bowl, so it wasn't here.
Okay, it wasn't here. So, but was that maybe Tampa?
That might have been.
Was that the one that was in Tampa?
And he also did 1989, but that doesn't factor in.
No, I think it would have been 2000. Anyway, whatever year it was, I was at Radio Row. It might have been Tampa. I was at wherever it was. I was at Radio Row that year, and it might have been. And I can remember being at Radio Row, and him, and someone said, "Will you be nervous?" Or I mean, he's at media day.
Yeah.
He's there to answer questions.
Right.
That's why. And so. Yeah. Someone said, "What, you think I've never done this before? I mean, You really? You think I'm going to get them nervous? I'm playing?" And I just remember the answer. I'm thinking, "Come on, Billy, don't be that guy." Because I saw when Springsteen did halftime in Tampa. I was at that. I know I was at that media day, and because I'm a Springsteen, I'm a fan of both. Springsteen was fantastic. He was funny. He was. Do you remember Prince at media day?
Oh yeah, first question, and he starts to answer, and then just plays a 10-minute set,
and he's done.
Yeah,
that was it. They asked Prince. Do you know that, Lauren? They asked Prince a question when he was on halftime. They asked him a question at media day. He looked at the mic, didn't really answer. Just started playing his guitar. He about a 10-minute riff and walked off. That was media day. It was fantastic.
I love that. Billy Joel's anthem was in Miami.
I was there. I was there for the media day. Wherever it was. I was there for and we did a bunch of media days in Miami. So I was
the
there.
one here in Jacksonville, we had combined choirs of the U.S. Military Academy, the Naval Academy, the Air Force Academy, and the Coast Guard Academy.
And then McCartney at halftime. Yeah. So I remember being there in Miami for that. Yeah, that was again. I remember doing that. I remember being at that Radio Row, and
well, you're gonna love hearing him talk about.
It'd be awesome. Yeah,
his process on some of these songs.
And I love stuff like that.
And don't you think most incredibly talented musicians have like a screw loose? That's how they became such geniuses. Or that's why they are such geniuses.
And I think he's mellow because I've been to a lot of his concerts obviously lately. He's funny now when he's in a concert. He makes fun of how old he is, makes fun of his artificial hips. I don't get around like I used to. I used to have I got 2 new hips, and so he's kind of funny. I mean, when he played Madison Square Garden, was still one of the best shows I ever saw. Maybe just because I knew I was going to see Billy in the Garden.
Sure.
But we saw him last May. I think it was last May or the year before in May. Suzanne and I went, and the first thing he said is he plays the first 2 or 3 songs, then he starts talking. He goes, "I'm Billy Joel. We're the house band." Okay, and it was fantastic. It was
Rod Stewart's this weekend.
Rod Stewart, and I don't think we're going. And I listen. This is weird because I'm not dying to see Rod Stewart play the whole Rod Stewart catalog. I want to see Rod Stewart play Maggie May.
Right.
I'm that guy. I wanted
just have a friend who's going FaceTime you during Maggie May.
I want to see Rod Stewart play Maggie. But I'm not going to go to the concert for that. The only Rod Stewart I really like is old Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
You Wear It Well, Angel, the Maggie May, the 70s Rod Stewart. All the other stuff doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah, he has a song that when I was a kid. Because, see, I wasn't around for Maggie May and things like that. So in the 80s, when I was a degenerate metalhead.
Right.
Or
more of a degenerate. Yeah,
right.
we go. Okay.
So I would make fun of Rod Stewart in his videos on MTV and things like that. And then as I got older, he has a song that now I really appreciate, but at the time I thought was ridiculously stupid. And it's the song, Forever Young.
Okay. Oh, I love Forever Young.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
But in it, he talks about being a dad, and as you fly away, I hope you feel like I've served you well.
Right.
And, I mean, now I can barely listen to it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't, that doesn't resonate with you when you're like 11, 12 years old.
Right, that's right.
But I still wouldn't go see him for Forever Young. But I would see him for Maggie May.
Yeah, right,
if you could drop me in there for 5 minutes,
same here.
I'd go.
Yeah, but there was when I was growing up, when I was in the 70s, Maggie May, by the way, is one of the most epic rock ballads of all time. It's a top 10 rock song ever. It really is. I don't care who you are. It is. And he played. Do you remember "You Wear It Well," which came out at the same time? Do you know the song "Angel"?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my Rod Stewart. But the "Do You Think I'm Sexy" and even "Forever Young." Forever Young's a great song, but that wasn't the Rod Stewart that I grew up on. So I would I pay the money and go and wait around just to see him see Maggie May? Probably not. But that's one of the things I've always said. I want to sing. I want to see the band sing the song. I never saw the Allman Brothers. I'm not the Allman Brothers fan that you are, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't mind seeing the Allman Brothers sing Rambling Man.
I would have loved to see the Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner before, obviously, the tragedies.
Yeah, so, but I mean, to see the Allman Brothers sing Melissa and Rambling Man, then leave, I'd be good. Yeah, I wouldn't need to stay for the whole show.
No, you'd like a lot of the other ones.
But to see Rod Stewart sing Maggie May, I mean, it's one of the greatest rock songs of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's one of the most epic, great rock songs of all time.
I told you all the story. We were camping last year, and I met this dog. Guy was walking his dog, and I said, "What's your dog's name?" And he said, "Maggie May." And I said, "Oh, the Rod Stewart song." And he goes, "No, there's no connection."
What?
Well, yeah, there is. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Well, whether he knows it or not.
Right. So you ran into an alien walking a dog when you went camping last summer.
I told you, I was like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Yeah, no connection."
Well, he's wrong. Okay.
Well, there's obviously a connection.
They're right. You don't. Right. There is. There's a connection. He named his dog Maggie May. There's a connection. Whether he wants to admit it or not doesn't matter. Okay. Because there's also never.
This is my dog, Baba O'Reilly.
No connection. Oh goodness, that's funny. So, but no, I would go just to hear him sing Maggie May.
I've got an update for you just as far as who's playing. We've got West Nassau v. Sandalwood here on the baseball field, and then over on the softball side, it sounded like
2 games.
Yeah, it sounded like Providence Fletcher ended. And because we heard a big roar, that's my guess at least. And then Bishop Kinney and Bishop Snyder are still playing softball. And then at 5:15, we've got Mandarin Nice. They've been warming up. So my guess, like I said, is that Providence Fletcher has ended. And then elsewhere at 7 p.m., Jackson takes on Baldwin in baseball. And, of course, at Inglewood plays host to Ed White. That's at 6 p.m. Also in softball here, we've got at 7 p.m. Sandalwood Hilliard, and at 7:30 Paxson Episcopal.
A lot of games, 7 games today, and that's how we will wrap the tournament again. We moved everything up to today. We've added 1 park, just Inglewood, but we've added a bunch of games here at this complex because we needed to get done before the rain all hits tomorrow. The rain is going to hit tomorrow. So college baseball. So do you have any updates? JU or UNF updates?
I will look.
JU and UNF.
While she's looking, I was curious, with all these great players and Florida commitments and Florida State commitments, could Kevin O'Sullivan land a helicopter on this field?
Yeah,
to recruit?
I would imagine. Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be something?
Just land it right here,
right there.
I mean, the turf could handle that, certainly.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was hoping for here.
Can't I do it? I'm laughing.
Just don't distract the baseball
don't look
players.
At him. Don't look at him. He's here.
It's the only sound effect I got, but it is gold. I got one sound effect, but I knock it out of the park every time. I don't mind telling you.
Crush it.
That's
all
my
right, so currently, as far as UNF is concerned, UNF is up 9-7 on Delaware. They're in the top of the ninth.
Okay, hang on there. Joe Mercadante's first game would be a first win. That would be outstanding. And JU against Cincinnati?
Yep, and JU currently, it looks like they are this was as of 17 minutes ago in the bottom of the 7th. They are tied 6-6, so I'm not sure what's happened since.
It's a lot of offense in both those games.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the reasons is I'm guessing pitchers probably are on a pitch count, which is why you're going to see some run score early on. It'll be interesting to see. So Florida plays tonight against St. John's. FSU starts year 2 under Link Jarrett. Kevin O'Sullivan just got a big extension. I wonder why college baseball never became a thing. I know the regionals are on ESPN now, the College World Series. We all watch the College World Series. But with everything now on TV, it wasn't a thing back in the day because everything wasn't on TV. But it never became a thing. It never – college baseball never – college basketball and college football became a thing. Well, baseball's the next up. I mean, in America – football, basketball, and baseball are the 3 sports. Hockey is great in some regions, but football, basketball, and baseball are the 3. But it never became a thing. I wonder why that is. I wonder why it never became a thing.
Do you think it's because, for the most part, I know the NBA for a little bit had it, but do you think it's because it's the only sport of the 3 where the great player goes straight from high school to the bigs?
Has to be part of it, doesn't it?
And so the fan kind of feels like,
right.
Well,
Great point.
You're not seeing the best.
Great point.
Football, you've always had. The stars play in college, and they play multiple years.
And for basketball,
for the most part, you've always had to go.
You're right.
There was, I guess, a 15-year period where you could go straight from high school, but
it's got to be a big part of it, doesn't it? It does, because you never had to do the the maturation. You never had to get to know them first in college. You never. But I just think it's really a shame that it never really happened. We never really got to.
I think it still could.
Yeah. With everything on TV the way it is, everything streamed, every game's on a streaming service or whatnot. It's a shame to me that it just never happened to where college. I mean, people don't know college baseball players, but we watch that. I think people watch the heck out of that College World Series. Don't you think?
I do, but that's because I'm
Your
interested in it.
And your team's usually in it.
Yeah, and same with college softball. I watch the Women's College World Series if the team that I root for is in it. By the way, quick golf update. Tiger Woods had to withdraw from Genesis due to illness. Not due to injury, but he did have to withdraw due to illness. So just as far as it relates to the players, we'll have to wait and see.
That is bad news.
That's awful.
That is bad news. So,
but when Major League Baseball was at its height in America, college baseball, college softball, did people pay a little bit more attention?
I didn't, Lauren.
Okay.
I didn't. It was never on TV. I couldn't have told you anything about. I couldn't tell you anything about college baseball when I was growing up. Not a thing. I could have told you college basketball. I could have told you college football, but I couldn't have told you one thing. It was never. Finally ESPN. I want to say this was in the early '80s. Tried to make a thing of Sunday night college baseball. It was well before ESPN had Major League Baseball. And every Sunday night they had the college baseball. I remember Scott Ruskin, a former Sandalwood player, was playing for Florida. And Florida was on one. I think Florida was playing Texas on one of the games. And it just never happened. It just never became a thing. And I wish it had. We all wish it had. We all wanted to watch it. We all loved following it, but it just never. And I guess it really is even now. Now, SEC Network will have games every weekend. Once the SEC season starts, they'll have games every weekend. You'll be able. ACC Network will have games every weekend. ESPN will have games, but I couldn't tell you any players on Oklahoma, LSU, USC's teams. Not ever.
Well, college basketball has the same problem.
But now it does.
Yeah.
Now that's a newer problem.
Yeah. Now the postseason is awesome,
right?
And everybody buys into that. And so I would argue, like, baseball, I think, okay, yeah, no one really pays much attention to the regular season unless you're a diehard. But I do think people pay attention to the postseason.
Right.
I mean, because there's nothing else going on.
Right.
I mean, it's at a perfect time in the summer. I mean, you've got the U.S. Open in June, but other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot of – so
there's a charm because it's always in the same place.
Absolutely. And so I do wonder if it can get to a point where, the regular season may never really take off. But look, if college basketball's regular season is dormant as it has become, then I don't think that's really anything to be concerned about as long as people get excited about your postseason.
Right.
And it seems like that's building for baseball. So.
And baseball attendance, Frank, seems to be pretty good. The college baseball attendance and softball attendance
better than
seems
it's
to
ever
be
been.
pretty good.
Better than it's ever.
So that's what that matters to them.
And I will say, the college football and college basketball, the games look like the pro game. Okay, the stadium, college football stadiums look like pro stadiums. I mean, they're different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
College basketball arenas look like NBA arenas. College baseball stadiums don't. The bats are metal. The bats aren't metal, and old school baseball is wooden bats. That's what Major League still is. The stadiums are smaller. The stadiums look more like this than a college baseball stadium looks way more like this Bregan baseball complex than it does PNC Park. Mm-hmm. Whereas the football stadium, heck, sometimes football stadiums house both. So I think so the game looks somewhat differently. Do you think if college baseball used wood bats, it'd be different, or would it matter?
I don't know enough about it. I mean,
it wouldn't affect you as a viewer.
It wouldn't affect me.
What do you think?
I don't think it would affect the casual fan.
No, probably not. Because the existence of the metal bat does make it a different game.
Why do they do that?
Well, they went to metal bats 100 years ago, lack of lumber. They just have, with all these college programs, they didn't have enough wood bats. They would break. You couldn't afford them. Number one, lack of lumber to make them. And then bats would break all the time, and college teams, high school teams couldn't afford it. They went to metal bats. That's how old I am. They went to metal bats when I was in the 10th grade. I can remember in the 9th grade playing for Southside Junior High, we had wooden bats. I had this Adirondack bat that was back then. Adirondack had the one stripe on it. It was the big bat everybody used. And I remember my dad bought me my dad was toward the end. when I was in the ninth. In fact, my dad died during my baseball season. And when I was playing junior high baseball, I remember the whole team came to the funeral. I remember like it was yesterday. But I remember one of the last things my dad bought me was an Adirondack wooden bat. It was like $25, which don't laugh back then.
Yeah,
$25 for a bat in freaking 1973 was a lot of damn money.
Do you still have it?
No, but it was a lot of money. But I had it with my last. But I remember my dad buying me this wooden bat because we used wooden bat. And the next year I got to Inglewood, we all had these metal bats. I'm thinking that's softball. Yeah, softball was always using metal bats. Baseball can't use metal bats. Never use wooden bats again.
Wow.
But they could go back now. There's enough money and everything. They could go back.
They could, but I wish they would. I'd like it better. Now there's a lot of wood bat leagues in the summer. Did you play in the summer? You have to use wood bats. That's getting players ready for pro ball. But I think that affects it some. It's still a different game. Now a wood bat game is still a different game than so what you watch on TV when you watch the Rays play the Orioles, and then you turn on and watch Florida play Vandy, it's a different game. It's still and I think the bats are a big part of that again. So interesting stuff. We'll take a break. When we come back, back to football for a little bit. 1 hour to go in the week. Man, it's been a fun week out here, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
It's the Bregan Baseball
Sure
Complex.
has.
We have 1 hour to go in the program, 1 hour to go in the week. Back with that after this. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
The Gators go for a season sweep against the Bulldogs. Florida, Georgia, tomorrow at 12:30 on 1010 a.m.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey folks, are you tired of shopping those online dealers that overpromise and underdeliver? Are you ready to sell or looking for a deal? Well, find your next used vehicle at Nimnick Buick GMC with Car Bravo. Look, it's a better way to shop used vehicles online. With transparent pricing, Nimnick Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Now that means Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. All makes, all models. Buying a certified used vehicle has never felt better. Now, Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Car Bravo dealer in the Southeast region and top 10 in the country. And there's always a great selection with hundreds of used cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. So now's the time. Shop at Nimnick Buick GMC with Car Bravo. That's Nimnick. Your friends in the car business since 1941. Bono's Pit Barbecue has been serving legendary barbecue in Jacksonville for 75 years. Frank Frangie here. Right now at Bono's, get 2 for $25. That's 2 entrees at $12.99 or less, and 2 homemade banana puddings for just $25. Whether you choose the ribs, chicken, turkey, pulled pork, or brisket, it's all locally smoked, and you can't find better homemade banana pudding. Dine in or take out, that's 2 for $25. And you already know, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Big Chief Tire has been Jacksonville's trusted tire expert for over 60 years. Frank Frangie here. The new season is upon us, and they are here to ensure your journeys are smooth and worry-free. Gear up for any travel by scheduling service at one of their 5 locations. From tire rotations to custom wheels and more, the experts at Big Chief are here to ensure your vehicle is ready. Visit the website at BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today.
Break free from the old school hassle at All Pro Roofing. They've revolutionized the game. And guess what? No more pressure, hassle, or time meeting with someone face to face for a roof quote. Unlock the power of an instant roof quote right from the comfort of your home. Get the information you need when you need it. Explore your roofing options today. Head over to allproroofingllc.com. Hit that instant roof quote tab for a free instant roof quote. allproroofingllc.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hicken here. When it comes to your eye health, you want to make the winning move. That's where Bow 9 Associates comes in. February, it's the month of love. And what better way to show some love than taking care of your family's vision? Bow 9 isn't just about seeing clearly. They're about making sure your eye game is in its prime. And folks, they got not 1, not 2, but 3 convenient locations across town. I call that home court advantage. So call Bow 9 Associates and schedule your winning eye exam. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
With modern smart home technology, you can control almost everything from the palm of your hand or your voice. Call the experts at Mr. Sparky.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update. The new Jag defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen, in meeting with the media, echoed the need to keep Josh Allen on the roster.
And so when you got a guy like that, a lot of production, right? And very important. Really excited to work with him. Heard nothing but great things talking to Josh, and he's been fantastic.
In area college sports, UNF Osprey men's basketball team will take on Kennesaw State this evening. Game time is 7 p.m. JU men's basketball team will face Queens, North Carolina this evening. Hear the game live on 1010XL, starting with the pregame at 6:45. On Saturday, Edward Waters will face off against the Savannah State University Tigers. Game time is 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon, Florida State will take on the Duke Blue Devils. The matchup Saturday is the first meeting this season for the two teams in conference play. Tip-off is 2 p.m. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
68 degrees at 5:03. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Here, that means it's time for more football. Football at 5.
5 o'clock somewhere.
On the Frangie Show.
Wake up, Maggie, I think I got something to say to you.
This would be really good in concert. Well done, RJ. This would be really fun in concert.
I love this song. Love this song.
And I think for some people, just seeing this song in concert, Maggie May by Rod Stewart, that would be worth going to the concert.
I may go now. I mean, just hearing that, like, I may go now. I mean, it's
Turn that up,
it's
RJ.
such a classic.
Listen, we'll go. We'll sneak in.
Yeah.
We'll wait. We'll see the set list. I mean, this is phenomenal. Wouldn't you love to see Rod Stewart just sing this?
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It's so good.
I gotta go tell the right fielder to shut the gate. The bullpen gate's open. It's bothering me.
You can be excused. We're just going to jam out
Jam
to
out
Rod
to Rod
Stewart.
Stewart. But what happens out here is they're not used to having bullpens in the
Right.
outfield like the big league parks have.
Right.
So, but if there's a line drive right down the right field line, it's going to go to the bullpen. Okay.
Well, as long as the student athlete doesn't run into the gate, then I think we're fine. All right, so Trevor Sikkema of Pro Football Focus, also known as Alyssa Lang's fiance, He put out a mock draft, 2-round mock draft, and here's who he has the Jaguars taking, Hays. Tell me what you think. With the 17th pick overall, they take the Senior Bowl phenom, Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson. And then in the second round, they come back and take Georgia wide receiver Ladd McConkey. If that's what happens, how do you feel about it?
I think it makes a lot of sense on the surface, but this is why I don't think it'll happen at either slot. I really don't think they're going to take a center at 17 for a number of reasons. And you don't have the whole list in front of you, right? You just know what he picked?
Correct.
Okay, so
I can pull it up.
Here's what I'm going with it. My guess is if you look at 5 guys that are taken after Jackson Powers Johnson, my guess is it will be one of those guys. I just think that they're going to, I think they're going to address it in free agency. B, if they take him at 17, that is them admitting Luke Fortner is a backup at best.
Correct.
And I would be surprised
They're not ready for that.
if they're there. So I get it. I mean, it makes sense, certainly, and he's a great player. But I would be surprised if he is the selection at 17.
The second thing you said, that's the thing. There is no indication that they feel like already they have missed on Luke Fortner, nor should they, to the point we made earlier. It's way too early to think you've missed on him. It's not too early to think he may not be the guy that plays this year while that window's open because you got to be better there. He may or may not be. But it's way too early to think, and that would be the admission that you missed on him, and I don't think that's where they are.
Yeah, and then with McConkey.
By the way, so at 18 is Brock Bowers. So you're not going to take a center over Brock Bowers.
I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, we've got a lot of time until the draft comes, but so we'll get into all these scenarios. But if he's there at 17, don't you have to take him?
Yes.
Well, but let me say,
for me, the answer is yes.
Well, and other than the 3 or 4 teams that are taking the quarterbacks, what were the other 12 thinking if you don't take Brock Bowers?
Well, because a lot of them are taking those star players. For instance, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, the Washington receiver, the offensive tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, the J.C. Latham out of Alabama, another tackle, Dallas Turner, an edge rusher who's a star, Malik Neighbors, a star, Jared Verse, a star. Like, there are other guys that I can see, and especially if you need a tackle, you're going to prioritize tackle over tight end. Byron Murphy, who I think would be great here, he's the Texas defensive lineman, like another tackle. So that's how I think you can end up with that. But I'm with you. I don't know that that's ever going to happen.
I will say this. The teams that are really good, you got to have quarterback, and you got to be physical. But, boy, the teams that figure out the touchdown maker, you got to have the touchdown maker. There are too many teams that undervalue the importance of, don't you think?
Absolutely.
That undervalue the importance of the touchdown maker.
I think he's Sam Laporta.
Yes.
Look at the difference he made.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Brock Bowers steps right in next year and has 850 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Who are you trying to cover? Brock Bowers, Evan Ingram, let's say Calvin Ridley's back, Christian Kirk, and the like.
Yeah.
Like who's your main target? Brock Bowers? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We'll throw it to Ingram. We'll throw it to Kirk. We'll throw it to Ridley.
Yeah, to me so that's interesting that he's got Bowers slipping all the way to 18. Yeah. With McConkey, to me it's like right church, wrong pew. I think receiver could be there in the second round for the Jaguars, but I think it's going to be a big physical guy. I don't think it's going to be a Christian Kirk, small, slippery, and that's no knock. McConkey, I think, is going to be a really good pro.
But they drafted that last year.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not the kind of receiver that they need here. They need 6'3", catch radius, possession kind of guy.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I'd be very surprised if they take Ladd McConkey or Brock Bowers. I mean,
I don't think Bowers is going to be there. Yeah,
as good as Brock Bowers is, this is not a team that doesn't have a move tight end. This is a team that does have a pretty damn good one. So.
I would pop champagne if Brock Bowers became a Jaguar. I've liked him since he was a freshman. Obviously, everyone has. Since he was a freshman.
He's a wonderful player, but, I mean, listen, as wonderful a player as I think Brock Bowers is, and I was kidding about what the other 12 thinking, but if the Jaguars were up at 17 and Jared Verse was there and Brock Bowers was there, you take Jared Verse. So
I love both of them.
Yeah,
so it'd be like choosing between. It's Sophie's choice for me there.
Yeah, but one's way more clear need than the other.
It is.
At that point, you do have to has to factor in.
But I also would look at it and say, and I love Verse too.
Yeah.
But
Bowers
I
a
would
wonderful
be
player.
shocked if Brock Bowers isn't a good pro.
Yeah, I agree.
Shocked.
I agree.
Like if so, to me, it's like I'm going to take Brock Bowers because the floor for him is probably top 10 tight end in this league, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The ceiling is obviously that he becomes the best or top 3 elite tight end in the NFL. And Evan Ingram is, it's not like he's 24. So, he's not old, but it's not like he's, just got into the league. So, again, to me, it would be really hard not to take Brock Bowers if he was there at 17.
Yeah, Ingram's 29 at this point. Here's a different mock draft. This is from Ryan Wilson of CBS Sports, just a first round. But just to compare, he's got the Jaguars taking Latu, the edge out of UCLA, with the 17th pick.
Yeah, I could see an edge.
Yeah, I absolutely could see. Number one, everybody could always take an edge. But, yeah, I could see that too. But, I think if free agency has so much to do with this. But, yeah, if the Jaguars address interior offensive line in free agency, then I think just about everything's open for the draft. I think receiver wouldn't shock me. A lot of people have mocked cornerback to the Jags. That wouldn't shock me. Edge would never shock me. So there's a lot. None of that would surprise anybody, would it? Any of those? None of those positions, I think, would surprise anybody. So I want to take a break. When we come back, the Gators go to Georgia. Big college basketball game. We'll give you the college schedule. JU, UNF, FSU as well. They play college basketball over the weekend. We'll update you on some baseball scores. We're continuing to have a wonderful day of baseball here and softball at the Bragan Baseball Complex. This is the first time, by the way, we've had all 3 fields really hopping, and it is hopping here at the complex. It really is. Back in a moment. 1010XL. 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
He won 3 national titles at Miami, played in a Super Bowl with the Steelers, and went to the Pro Bowl with the Jaguars.
Are you serious?
Yes! Pull up a chair for Lunch with Leon. Leon Searcy on XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet love our community. That's right, we spread the love by giving back, and every year we give hundreds of thousands of dollars to our local community. Plus, we give all our customers lots of love, too. Every new vehicle purchase comes with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, and every certified pre-owned vehicle comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile loving warranty. Plus, we give the most loving for your trade. Help us to continue to spread the love and head to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're here to wow you and give back.
Well, hello there. Join me at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino to celebrate a new era in gaming. With live craps, roulette, and sports betting now available to go along with the biggest selection of slots in South Florida. Plus, all your other favorite table games. Complement your night with my award-winning fine dining and casual fare options, lively bars and lounges. Or catch your favorite A-list entertainer at Hard Rock Live. Discover your rhythm today. Go to hardrockholly.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Get ready for the Players' Championship, March 12th through 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Don't miss your chance to watch the PGA Tour's best compete to etch their name in history while enjoying a vibrant social scene. From local bites to the latest merchandise available in the PGA Tour fan shop, the Players offers the ultimate experience for everyone to enjoy. Secure your spot today. Tickets are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
A breakfast bar that's up to par.
That smells good. What is that?
Brunch with the Tour.
We're all on the same page then.
Tour news, tips, and inside info brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation, 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is now taking applications for their state-certified apprenticeship program. As an apprentice, you'll receive excellent benefits, higher pay, job placement, and even earn college credit. The 5-year programs include plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, and HVAC. A career as a journeyman means stability and security. For more information, visit ua234.com/apprenticeship. Local 234. Make the right connection.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
The First Coast Games is an annual corporate challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals, with some friendly competition, of course. Registration is now open through the First Coast YMCA for both recreational and challenge divisions, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect fare for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jackson.
I think they'll be a slight favorite. I'm not sure if the line's out yet, but I would imagine it'll be Florida by 3.5, somewhere in there. Georgia's lost 5 straight. On the optics of it, you would think Florida comfortable because Georgia's lost 5 straight. But no, I think Georgia will be up for it. I think Florida wins, but I think it's a close game, 77-72. I think it's a fight right till the end, and I would not be surprised if Georgia wins the game. They're due for a win.
They've lost a bunch in a row. Florida's better. Florida's heading places I'm not sure Georgia is, but it's in Athens. He's 0-3 against them. He's going to beat them at some point if they play every year.
Florida's favored by 2.5,
which is about what you expected.
Yeah.
Yep. I think Georgia. I think Florida has lived life on the edge. Now, it helps, by the way, that he's got their attention because they can't finish games off.
Right.
But I was at that game in Gainesville when they played, and I thought Georgia matched up well with them.
Yeah.
I thought the two teams matched up well. I think Georgia gets them tomorrow, and I would love everyone to tweet me and tell me how wrong I am tomorrow when Florida wins big, like Lauren, you expect, right?
I expect that because of the fact that I feel like Florida hasn't really put it all together yet, other than maybe in the first half we've seen. But I think the trajectory that we've seen this team on against Auburn and the like, once they can put that together in the second half, which is what I think they do tomorrow, I think they've figured out the issues with the zone. They've had a little bit of extra time since they played LSU on Tuesday night. I think this is a game where Kugel and Richard and Clayton and Pullen and Tyree Samuel are all near double digits.
I don't watch enough Georgia basketball to know why they've been in this slump. I don't pay a lot of attention. But I know the team I saw in Gainesville and the team I did watch on TV beat South Carolina didn't look like a team that was going to lose 5 in a row at any point.
Yeah, it is a surprise because I think Mike White is a solid coach. That's why it's a little, and they've had all week to the point you made earlier,
Right.
Frank. Georgia's had the mini bye, which is a concern. Florida's also, they're just 2-4 on the road.
Right.
So this has not been a team that has fared well in true road games. So that's a concern. Now, Florida's history isn't bad there. They've won 44 games in Athens. They're 44-62 all time, which that gives you at least some hope there from a trend standpoint. This is the big storyline for me going into this game. Melendez was so sensational for Georgia in that first meeting. He had 35 points, 13 of 19 shooting from the field, 6 of 10 shooting the three. Made basically everything he looked at.
Really did.
Florida was luckily able to win the game in overtime. Well, since that game, this is amazing to me. You would think that would be like a springboard to him, having success. Melendez has scored 26 total points.
Isn't that amazing?
In his last 4 games combined.
And he couldn't miss that day.
Yeah. So, does he? Does he find the groove again, seeing Florida? So I think that'll be really interesting. How well does he play off the bench for Georgia? One thing that I think that helps Florida tomorrow, they've been much better with the basketball. They had 19 turnovers in that win over Georgia in Gainesville that led to 24 points for the Bulldogs. They've been much tighter since in the 3 weeks since that game was played. So I don't expect Florida to have nearly that many turnovers tomorrow. And Han Logden was sensational against Georgia, 23 points, 17 rebounds. Georgia really doesn't have much hope on the glass. They're minus 1.8 rebounding margin this season. Florida's plus 9. So what does that tell you? It tells you that Florida should win the rebounding margin by 11, roughly. So I think Florida, but I think it's close for all those other intangibles. It's on the road. Georgia's had all week. You beat them the first time. Georgia's desperate to, get a win here. So I think very close, but I do think Florida's more talented. So I think Florida ekes it out.
I'll say this about Florida's basketball team. Florida started the season 4-3. Did you realize that? They're 4-3. They're 13-4 since. So they've been, from game 7 on, they've been about as good as anybody. And so
in the first 6, they didn't have Pullen.
Right, and that's right. And they didn't.
And Han Logden missed a few
games.
And
Han Logden was hurt.
I think Pullen maybe missed the first 3 actually.
Yeah.
But he missed a bunch of games early on. That's right. And so, but you're right. They didn't have their full group together for a lot of those first 6 or 7 games, and I think that's changed since then. So my gut just tells me this is one of those, the week off, the Mike White against his old team. Georgia's due to play better. This is one Georgia gets them, but we'll see if one winds up happening. Lauren, 2 big games in the A-Sun, both on the road tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the time that Jordan Mincy gets his team together and says, it's pretty much do or die time, fellas. If you want to make it into the tournament, we have to beat Queens tonight because obviously, like we discussed earlier this week, these 2 teams are tied for 10th out of 12 teams in the A-Sun, and the top 10 teams make the tournament. So tonight is a massive game for JU, and there was a player, I don't have the box score in front of me, there was a player when UNF played Queens earlier this week who went for over 30 points, and so that's the guy, I'll look it up in a second.
Chaz Lanier.
No, I mean as far as on
the
Queen,
opponent.
yeah, the opponent
right.
is concerned. On Queens' team, and so that's who I think JU really has to watch out for. His name is AJ McKee. So that's, if I'm Jordan Mincy, make sure you defend AJ McKee. It's going to be, tonight at 7 o'clock, going to be a huge game for JU.
And UNF on the road?
Yep, at Kennesaw State. UNF played so well against Queens. They won like 93-76. So that's a game where, because they were able to, 93-79, they were able to really get, obviously, Chaz Lanier going, but also John Nazee. He had 22 points, so that was huge for Matthew Driscoll's team. So, it's an important game for UNF, not nearly as important on this season as it is for JU tonight. But both games tip off on the road at 7 o'clock tonight.
Boy, UNF is in a logjam in the standings because you look at it. I think they're it's like a 4-way tie for third, so they could be anywhere from the 3rd seed to the 6th seed. I mean, there's a bunch of teams right in there. So, these games are crucially important. And remember, unlike Florida and Florida State in the bigger conferences, they've got one less week.
Right.
So while Florida and FSU still have like
Right.
7 games left, in the A-Sun, you've only got I would think 4 or 5 games left until you're deciding it.
So Eastern Kentucky, by the way, 9-2, Stetson 8-3, and then you've got Austin P, Lipscomb, North Alabama, and UNF all 7-5. To Hayes' point.
So they're comfortably in, but from
Right.
a seeding standpoint, it has a lot to do with it. Very
Absolutely.
good point. Meanwhile, for the Noles, Hayes, you talked about earlier, it's kind of coming unraveled for a second straight year now for Leonard Hamilton's team. They have lost. They're 13-11, 7-6 in the league. They have lost 4 out of 5, 5 out of 7. Remember, this is a team that started 5-1 in the ACC. Now, not a good ACC this year, but they've gone from 5-1 in the league to 7-6 in the league.
And play Duke tomorrow, right?
And they have Duke tomorrow, and then after a home game against. By the way, they're 1-4. They've lost 4 out of 5. The one win was a 1-point win over Boston College. So they play Duke at home, Boston College at home, and then they go to Clemson, who's pretty good.
Yeah.
So and then a trip to Pitt after that. So
honestly, they're probably fighting for an NIT berth.
They pretty much are. They're trying to stay above 500. So tough year for the Noles in basketball, where they have been so very good for so very, very long. So, but that is it. Can you update me on some baseball scores, Lauren Brooks? Do you have any scores? I know we were close earlier.
By the way, Lauren's updating us on everything. So Tiger Woods got carted off?
He did. I feel bad for him.
Oh, my gosh.
Last week in my household, we had a pretty nasty stomach bug between us for a couple days, and I have a friend who texted me that her daughter also has the same stomach bug this week. I have heard from several people that it's going around.
And I think Matt Hayes had that.
I think so too. Yep. And then watching Tiger on the cart at the very end, he puts his head in his hands. So I have no idea if that's what Tiger's dealing with. It's just my guess based off of what I dealt with that it would be some sort of a stomach bug.
That would be. I mean,
because what else would be carted off as far as for an illness for? By the way, JU did win the game.
Walked it off.
8-6. Yep,
Wow.
walked it off. So that was very exciting for them.
Good for JU. So the JU baseball team wins 8-6 over Cincinnati, a walk-off by Steidl. I don't know who that is. Stidl.
And UNF also won. They won
Good.
9-7.
Oh,
so
that's
both
awesome.
teams
That is
secured
great
the
news.
first victory of the season, and they play again in 30 minutes.
That is really
awesome.
good news. So both JU and UNF win again. Just so you know, it was supposed to be UNF Delaware, JU Cincinnati. They were going to be their 3-game series. It was supposed to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Both JU and UNF moved their games to doubleheaders today. No game tomorrow because the rain's coming, and then they're going to try and get one in, even though it's going to rain on Sunday too.
Yeah.
They're going to try and get one in on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe after the rain.
But good for the Dolphins and the Ospreys. They both win. They both win in baseball. today. I hope they both win in baseball again tonight, and I hope they both win in basketball tonight. So all that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I give you a couple more Florida basketball fun facts?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. You give me a fun fact on a Friday?
This is Gator Sports Information Department. So this is
that's
where I got
who you
it
are.
from. No, that's who they. This is who's making me look smart right now.
Kind of ran through my
Gators,
mind.
yeah. This is me just being the conduit. So Florida is averaging 84.6 points this season. And we've talked about that throughout the year, about where it ranks in the nation. Well, this is interesting. The school record is 84.2 points per game, set in the 1986-87 season.
Wow.
So that would have been Vernon Maxwell and Moten, right?
Maxwell might have been gone. Moten might have still been there. It was Livingston Chapman, Dwayne Davis, Dwayne Census, that team.
So
Ronaldo
the 04s don't have the record.
Yeah. So how about that?
That's
so I don't know if it'll hold,
wow.
but Todd Golden, in his second year on campus, might be delivering the best offense the school has ever seen. So that was really interesting. And then about Florida's balance, because we've talked about front court, the guards are obviously outstanding. So in their last 7 games, they've had 6 different leading scorers, which speaks to they're tough out. They've got a lot of guys that can hurt you.
That surprises me because I would have thought the guards more one.
You would have thought Clayton would have pull in,
but
Samuel's done it. And Logden did it against Georgia.
Yeah, that's right.
Kugel had a big game against Auburn. He did it against Auburn.
Yeah.
So as you go around, it speaks to, and Richard's done it once.
Yeah.
Those are the 6.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'll say this: the job Todd Golden has done to get there, it was a little broken, not terribly broken, but the players were gone. To have last year be so bad, it was not a very good year. They weren't very good. To totally rebuild that thing, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, Kugel and Richard were back, but that's it. To totally rebuild that thing, making them one of the best big man teams in the country, getting one of the best guard combinations in the country, getting them all to play together. To Lauren's point earlier, you didn't have Pullen for 3 games, didn't have Hen Logden for a while. This has really been a good coaching job, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, he has done a really good job coaching that team, man. Todd Golden, and if it finishes strong, look, my gut says it's going to be an upset tomorrow, but if I'm wrong, and most people think I will be, then all of a sudden they're 18-7 and 8-4 in a really good league. That's good stuff, man. That really is. I will take a break. Lauren's going to wrap the show. She's going to wrap the week with her news and notes, so stick around.
The Frangie Show, live from the Hastings Injury Law Firm Studios on 1010XL. Hit back with Hastings.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NASCAR racing the Daytona 500 on Sunday, the Great American Race, and it starts the 2024 season. Joey Logano will start from pole position. He won that Wednesday night in single-car qualifying, and he is the betting favorite to win the Daytona 500, along with Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch. All 3 drivers are plus 1,000 to take the checkered flag. Brad Keselowski has never won a Daytona 500 at plus 1,100. Denny Hamlin, who's looking for his 4th Daytona 500 championship, also plus 1,100. Kyle Larson plus 1,200. This update brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010XL.
A customer with an older home and galvanized piping called saying they had poor water pressure. It smelled bad and was discolored. So we at Duck Rooter sent a highly skilled manager to discuss options. How repiping the water lines would solve the issues. The result? Clean flowing water. Call for your free estimate, 904-862-6769. Visit duckduckrooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Serving commercial and residential, fully insured and certified plumbing contractor.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Growing up at the beach, I know good shrimp and oysters when I see them. It's local and it's fresh. That's why Mayport CNC Fisheries is my go-to for both. They have local shrimp in stock daily and fresh boxes of oysters. Eat like a local at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Instant Key. have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
For your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Jacks College Baseball Classic, February 23rd to 25th at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark, text BASEBALL to the text line covered by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010.
Is your vehicle in need of some TLC? Bring it to the experts at Tire Outlet. With over 40 years of experience in 15 locations across Florida, Tire Outlet is the brand you can trust. Our certified technicians do the job right to get you in and out in no time flat. Hurry in for great deals on tires and automotive service. We offer free tire rotations, free brake inspections, rebate offers on brand name tires, and a legendary price match guarantee on every set of brand new tires. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Ready to spice up your Wednesday? Head to Players Grill for Wing Wednesday. Enjoy mouth-watering wings for just 75 cents each. Plus, make it a happy hour all day long. Cheers to unbeatable deals and good times. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This is Hays Carlyon for QC Kinetics. The state of healthcare is always changing, and old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. Great locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain. From arthritis or injury, don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Again, call them for a free consultation, 904-274-5522. Mandarin and Ponte Vedra, great locations. That's QC Kinetics.
Listen up, poker players. The Run Good Poker Series is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from March 14th to the 24th. The Run Good Poker Series features 10 poker events, including the $1,200 no-limit hold'em main event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool, and event number 1, $400 no-limit hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Win your way into the tournament through satellite starting March 2nd and running throughout the month at Best Bet Jacksonville. Check out the Run Good Series structures and details at bestbetjacks.com.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I know Honda, they're so cool on the road and off the road, but guess what? Tell them about them being on the water.
There is an all-new Honda boat coming out. We went out and partnered with Scout, who's been making the finest holes in the business for years. They're fuel-efficient, dynamic, and class-leading.
So Honda is in the boat business, and you will see boats coming to Cycles of Jacksonville soon.
We will have them in the spring, ready to go.
CyclesofJacksonville.com. Keep track of all of it. Find them on Atlantic near Regency.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
What's going on in the world? It's time for Frangie Show news and notes. Here's Lauren Brooks.
You know, well, I'm a chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. Oh,
That's right. The weekend is upon us. Going to be a rainy one, but that's okay. It's still a weekend. We were just talking about songs we've seen live that we absolutely love. The first time I saw Zac Brown Band sing Chicken Fried live was 2009.
How about
15 years ago.
Where was
How
that?
does time go by so fast? That was at Mavericks at the Landing that no longer exists.
How about that? And they sang Chicken Fried.
That was their only song that they had just released. Like, it was brand spanking new. No one knew any other music by them. And it was
How many
an
times? I've seen them
blast.
3 times. You've probably seen them.
Oh,
double
yeah.
digits.
No, not double digits. I'd probably say like 7 or 8, somewhere in there. You eventually stop keeping track. I should have some sort of like scrapbook for all the concerts. We all should, right? But
they're a great band in concert. They
so
really
much
are.
fun. All right, on Sunday, while it's raining outside, you can certainly tune your radio to Open Gym. RJ, what's coming up on the show on Sunday?
Absolutely, the basketball show for the basketball fan. It is the Open Gym. Going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about some of the greatest Orlando Magic NBA All-Star moments on Sunday. And then is the Orlando Magic schedule for the second half of the season that difficult as maybe some make it out to be? So Jake Chapman, who's the radio play-by-play voice for the Magic, will speak to us on that. And then, of course, I have to talk Lakers. So we are going to speak with Mike Trudell, the sideline reporter for the Los Angeles Lakers. He'll come on and talk about the Lakers and what to expect the second half of the season for them. So all that and more on Open Gym this Sunday.
All right, sounds good. We'll be listening. All right, so right now we've got West Nassau, Sandalwood in baseball. Earlier, Trinity Christian and First Coast battled. At 7 p.m., we've got Jackson taking on Baldwin. And then at Inglewood, in just about 20 minutes, Inglewood plays host to Ed White. All that going on the baseball side. Meanwhile, on the softball side, at 5:15, Mandarin is taking on Nice. So that game is about a half an hour underway. At 7 p.m., Sandalwood takes on Hilliard. And at 7:30, Paxson takes on Episcopal. I believe that's everything.
Boy, oh
that's on
boy,
the softball side.
7 games at this park plus a game in Inglewood. 8 games today as we wrap up both the baseball and the softball. And one more time, I'll tell you, we moved everything from tomorrow till today. We were supposed to have 6 games, 6 championship games tomorrow in the baseball and softball combined. We moved everything up till today just because the rain's not going to let us play tomorrow.
Well, I think that was smart. And then you also hosted the Heritage Classic out here with Rains and Rebald, and that was unbelievable, right?
Lauren, that was a special day. One of the most special things I've been around in a long time. The way those kids responded, so many middle school and elementary school kids, 500 kids from middle schools and elementary schools that will feed into Rains and Rebald. We're all here, and, man, they were having a big time in that concession stand and walking around the park and watching baseball. It was cool stuff.
When I briefly worked at UNF for that little over a year, we always hosted for women's basketball the elementary school day.
Yeah.
So take the 500 kids that you had watching, but put them in a gym, and then have them screaming all at the same time.
Right, I can imagine.
And it was quite loud. All right, Hays, I know you saw the video of Fred Taylor interviewing C.J. Stroud, and Fred asks, about not winning a national championship at Ohio State when C.J. was there. Obviously, Ohio State was very close to beating Georgia, if not for that missed field goal. But C.J. Stroud kind of comes back at Fred Taylor like, well, what school did you go to? And Freddie T is clearly a national champion, but I'm not sure C.J. Stroud knew that.
No, he did not. I'm going to defend C.J. Stroud a little bit on this because you are asking him. I'm sure it's still painful for C.J. Stroud that he didn't win the whole thing because, A, he was phenomenal in that game against Georgia.
That he was.
And if the kick goes through, they beat TCU by 40.
Right.
So they would have won the national title.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's not 37. You're asking a young 20s athlete about something that's probably still pretty fresh and painful. And so I didn't have a problem with C.J. Stroud. First off, I think it's just friendly banter anyway. I don't think that there was any malice intended on either side of it, but I think C.J. Stroud had every right to be like, well, where did you play? And when Fred said Florida, who hasn't been good for half of C.J. Stroud's life,
right.
It makes sense that he would be like, oh, come on, Florida. I mean, you're asking me about not winning the national championship and you went to Florida? Because he's not going to know. I mean, he's not going to know what Fred Taylor did in the 1990s.
Right.
When he was 8 years away from being born. So, I mean, I thought it was funny. I was surprised that people, I get it. I mean, C.J. Stroud's the enemy here now,
right.
And that's the thing.
That's
but,
right.
in terms of, how it went, I didn't think he was disrespectful. I mean, he was asked about, hey, why didn't you win the title? And so he's like, okay, well, if we're going to open that up, then, I'm going to kind of play with you a little bit. And I thought that's what he did. The funny thing to me about the whole thing is so C.J. Stroud takes the shot at Florida, and Channing Crowder loses it. And I'm sitting there thinking as I'm watching the video, Channing Crowder remembers where he went to school, right? And then finally he's like, I went to Florida too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the way Channing Crowder reacted, you'd have thought he was a knoll or a dog.
Wasn't it Crowder wearing?
Things just makes him laugh.
Yeah.
Wasn't he wearing a FAMU shirt?
Yeah, he
Crowder,
was.
right?
Yeah,
So I think C.J. Stroud, people would have been less upset about the chippiness, so to speak, if C.J. Stroud was like, when was the last time your school won a national championship? But instead it was, well, where did you go to school? As if Florida's never won a national championship. And so I think you've got the two different groups of people. Like, good for C.J. Stroud, he's passionate. And then you've got the other people like, sit down, young man. Like, you don't even know about football. National championships that happened in the 90s and the early 2000s, those still matter. Those still count. So, yeah, I thought the whole thing was interesting. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo probably won't be a Raiders quarterback for long. He has now been suspended for the beginning of next season for 2 games for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substances policy. Everyone does expect that the Raiders will probably cut him in the near future.
That is really weird. Yeah, I don't think he was going to be their quarterback anyway. But, what an odd turn to that story. By the way, Sandalwood looks like they have just beaten West Nassau. That game is now over. So Sandalwood moves to 1-1 in the tournament. What an odd story that was, wasn't it? That Jimmy Garoppolo, of all people, you look up and is suddenly down for 2 games for steroids or performance enhancers. I don't think I saw that on the bingo card.
Yeah, it was weird. I think it was something his doctor gave him, and as he's recuperating.
Yeah,
and
using a prescribed medication without having a valid therapeutic use exemption. That could be marijuana too.
Yeah, but they don't that's been so declassified in the CBA. That you basically would have to test for pot for 87 straight days for something to ever really happen in terms of games being missed. So I think he just honestly in his recovery, I think he was given something that he should have checked on.
Gotcha.
Or gotten the waiver.
Because he's not going to appeal it. So.
Yeah, and but it's great for the Raiders because it gets them off of the guarantees. So it saves the Raiders $11 million by the reports that you see.
And now he's gone.
And now Jimmy Garoppolo is free to go do the Baywatch remake that the world is dying for.
I love that. Shout out to Taylor Swift, who donated $100,000 to the family of Lisa Lopez Galvin. She was the only person who passed away after the shooting there at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. And then another shout out. This one has nothing to do, thankfully, with that. But Caitlin Clark, I'm sure y'all saw last night, she set the women's basketball scoring record. In order to break the record, she shot a 3 from the logo. Kelsey Plum originally held the record. Clark scored 49 points last night.
And that 3 was a bomb, too.
That's how she always does it.
That was a bomb. Good for her. One of the best, maybe the best women's basketball player at the collegiate level ever.
I was curious about this, so I looked it up today because I haven't watched a lot of Caitlin Clark, which is my fault. But it's not just the scoring. I mean, for her career, she averages 8.5 assists a game, 7 rebounds. I mean, she is a really well-rounded player, and obviously she's a prolific scorer.
That she is.
So, congratulations.
And then I've got 4 games for y'all, since it is going to be raining outside of Florida at Georgia. Men's basketball. 4 men's basketball games for y'all to pay attention to tomorrow. Number 4 Marquette at number 1 UConn.
That's a great game.
3 p.m. on Fox.
Because that's who Florida. That could be the second round if you advance. Yeah. You could be seeing one of those 2 teams.
Number 20 Kentucky at number 12 Auburn. 6 p.m. ESPN.
Calipari versus Pearl.
Yeah, I love it.
So many people think Cal is on the hot seat, which is fascinating. It'll obviously depend on what happens with Kentucky in the tournament. But
I don't think Cal's. This is a conversation for another day. I don't think Cal's ever getting fired. But I can see Cal saying, I'm going to go do the next thing.
Yeah.
I can see that.
There's not a lot of appreciation
right.
on either side.
Right.
Yeah, you can see that.
Then we've got number 7 Kansas at number 21 Oklahoma. That's at 4 p.m. on ESPN. We have a friend who always stops by the baseball grounds and loves him some Kansas.
Go Jayhawks.
And then number 16, these are not in chronological order. Number 16 Creighton at Butler, 12:30 on Fox.
Well, that's some good games, man.
As far as how good the
you're right. That is a lot of. That's a lot of.
I mean, that Auburn and Kentucky game is the headliner. Right. But there's I'm really getting into SEC basketball. I mean, it helps that Florida looks like they might actually be a contender.
Right.
You watch, Tennessee and, the South Carolina, I'm intrigued to see how they bounce back because they're still, they're still very high up in the standings.
Auburn
and,
hasn't lost at home. Can Kentucky upset? I mean, I don't know what the line is, but I'm assuming that Auburn's favored in that game. Can Kentucky upset Auburn there? Like in the Jungle, if you haven't watched a basketball game at Auburn yet, it's called the Jungle. It is incredible.
Yeah, it's a great home court advantage.
And finally, before we say hello to Rick Ballou, I'm sure Hays was happy to see MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said yesterday this will be his final term in office. He will retire in January 2029.
Yeah, I think he's rallied. He was a disaster for a long time. But I do think the changes that he made to the game, the pace of play,
I agree.
I give him a lot of credit for that. So I think he has salvaged a passable grade, which is saying something because I thought he was on a big fat F for much of his tenure.
Rick Ballou joins us. Let's say hello to Rick.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Rick, pitchers and catchers have reported, right? You've seen that. You know it?
It's insane. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's a great time of year. It really is.
Who's got your attention? Is it Dodgers, Braves, and everybody else? What do you think?
I'm a front runner. I'm going to pull for the Dodgers this year. Okay, I need to spend. I need to spend a little bit more money to solidify their 25. Right. But yeah, that's the way I'm going to go. By the way, I just heard Miss Brooks say the Jungle at Auburn. Can Auburn come up with anything on their own? Everyone knows that the Jungle for 60 or 70 years has been in Storrs, Connecticut, with a university of. I mean, Auburn's like, I know they're second in the state, but they don't come up with anything on their own. They just. What? Eagles and Tigers and this. I mean, anyway. I just thought,
Auburn. Come on, Auburn.
Anyway.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. So pitchers and catchers reporting. It's a great time of year, no doubt about it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What's coming up tonight, Rick? What are you doing?
Well, I'm devastated here. Tigers out, and I wonder if it's the end of the road. I was thinking about it as I was driving in. The last time I was this disappointed was when the Red Sox in 1981 traded Fred Lynn and Steve Renko for Frank Tanana and Joe Rudy. That really set me back. This one did today with Tiger Woods because I set up time to watch him tee to green, and he just had trouble moving. And he said that his back was obviously fused and he was having back spasms. The official word is that he's ill. I have to believe it's back spasms, but it just feels like to me that this one is the end. And, the Players is in 25 days. I think the Players desperately needed Tiger Woods to be here. He still may come. I don't think he will now. I think he'll try to get himself ready for the Masters. But this is a big blow. So kind of want to talk about fallen heroes, if you will. And honestly, do we still have them in sports? I mean, think about the Jaguars, all right? 30 years, were you devastated when they couldn't even get a bag of balls for Leonard Fournette? Were you devastated when they traded Jalen Ramsey? Were fans devastated when they moved Tony Baselli when we kind of knew his career was over when he was traded to Houston? So it's maybe I'm just getting older and that's the reason why, but it doesn't feel like when today's athletes walk away or they go to another team, it's not the same the way it once was.
And not only that, but we had a Frank Tanana sighting on the program. Yep. Rick, Frank Tanana threw in the 90s and the 70s.
And then he threw in the 90s and the 70s, then in the 70s, then in the 90s he threw in the 70s.
That's right. That's my favorite line.
He was crafty.
He said I threw in the 90s and the 70s, and in the 70s and the 90s. That's one of Rick and my favorite lines. So there's that. All right, Rick, have fun. Thanks, buddy.
All right, we'll see you.
Rick Ballou goes into the night. Rick told me that line first. I never heard it.
That's right.
I said I threw in the 90s and the 70s, and in the 70s and the 90s. Oh, that's funny. Folks, that'll do it for our program. Don't go anywhere, though. Rick goes into the night right now. He's going to have a lot of good, fun stuff. Hey, we want to thank you guys for listening all week long, and thanks to 1010 for letting us come out here. We've been at the Bregan Baseball Complex at the Walk-Off Charities High School Baseball and Softball Tournament all week long. It's been a gorgeous week out here. We've had a blast. Hope you get a chance to come see this new ballpark at some point. Have a great weekend, everybody. For Hays, Lauren, and RJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.